these are some of the scariest Minecraft seeds of all time. Starting with seed 21166. Players have reported being attacked by a living tree while traveling the forest playing on this seed. So let's check if this one's true. Okay, I'm not seeing anything unusual in this world, but the tree is meant to... Oh wait, what is this? I'm pretty sure this is just a buried shipwreck, but let's just check it out to make sure. Okay, or maybe it's not a shipwreck. I can't seem to find the ship anywhere. Yeah, that is weird. Where did the logs go? There was just logs there a second ago, I'm sure of it. You guys literally saw it. I'm not crazy. If there is a living tree, it's probably in the forest over here. Okay, you can't tell me you guys didn't see that. I swear the water was just turning red for a second. Okay, we're going into creative. I'm a little scared now, not gonna lie. Wow, there's a village over here. Maybe we should check that out. This village seems perfectly normal, other than the portal going through this house right here. Yeah, I'm sure that this is a coincidence, especially this one block up here. Look at this guy, he's trapped in the house. Alright, let me help you out, buddy. Wait, what? Where did he go? Also, why is there a bunch of tree blocks in here? Did a tree spawn in the middle of this house? Or do you guys think the living tree put this stuff here? Okay, that noise might have been him telling me that I was right. Yeah, we're getting out of here. Okay guys, that water was definitely red. Like, you guys can't tell me you didn't see the red water there. Well, at least he can drink the red water instead of drinking me, I guess. But yeah guys, in the original story, it said that the tree lives inside of the forest. So enough is enough, we're checking out the forest. If there is anything weird in this forest, it's gonna be really hard to see because of all the trees around here. So you guys need to keep a lookout for anything strange in case I don't see it. Hold on, do you guys hear that? It sounded like someone was breaking wood, and it definitely wasn't me. I mean, this is what it sounds like when I break wood. And is that redstone in the walls? Okay, I'm 99% sure redstone cannot spawn here. Something is up. Wait, what was that? What just happened? How is it nighttime right now? What just happened? I swear it was just day. Okay, I'm really not liking this. There's a lot of sounds, a lot of weird things going on. Wait, what did I just see over there? Watch until the end to see what happens. Next is seed Thanatophobia, which is supposed to be a seed where everything in your world is trying to kill you. This is the seed of, well, Thanatophobia. That's kind of what the word means. So everything in the seed is supposed to kill me. Alright, pig, kill me. Come on. Kill me. Okay, it's not working. If this seed is correct, the pig should be trying to kill me right now. Oh my god, I almost fell in that hole. That is a really weird hole to just be there, isn't it? Like, usually lava doesn't spawn with a random hole leading to your demise. That better not have been you, pig, trying to kill me with the lava. But yeah, let's get some tools. What? I might be wrong, but did this cow just hit me? Nah, it had to have been just like a skeleton or something that is hiding now. Come on out, skeleton, I know you're in here. I'm not looking for you, buddy. Why do you keep following me? Nah, you know what? Actually... why does the cow have infinite health? I'm telling you, something is weird with this world. The cows are invincible and following me, pigs trying to kill me, something is up. But we still have no proof. I mean, these could all be coincidences, right? So I think we need to find something that is a little bit more likely to kill me than a pig or a cow. We need a sheep, but not just any sheep. A red sheep, because a red sheep is way more likely to try to kill me than any other kind of sheep. So we'll get a flower from over here, and we should be able to craft this thing into some red dye. Come here, sheep. Boom, and now you're red. Kill me, sheep. You can do it. Or maybe not. For a seed where everything is supposed to kill me, nothing is really killing me. Whoa, what was that? Okay, not really sure where a dripstone would have come from. Maybe the sky is trying to kill me. Yeah, that is so weird. There's literally nothing up there, and it just dropped from the sky. I don't know, guys. The red sheep didn't work. The cow and the pig didn't work. I might have to say this one is busted. But wait, what is that over there? How did I not see this before? Was this even here before? Okay, now this is weird. I've seen villages before, but never have I just seen a single village house in the middle of nowhere like this. Yeah, this is so strange. Is anyone even in the house? Hello? Anyone in there? Okay, That is not the floor of a house. That is in fact death. Somebody needs to get some insurance because something happened to this house. This is not okay. Wow, one more step forward and I would have died. And just as I was about to say this seed was busted. Okay, we're gonna go down here, but we have to be careful. I'm not taking any chances. If there was a giant death hole in the house, who knows what could be at the bottom. Okay, and it's just a normal cave at the bottom. This is so weird. I wonder who put this house here. It must mean I'm going in the right direction. I'm gonna put some blocks at the entrance right here just in case I backtrack so I know where I am. You know what's really weird about this cave? The fact that I haven't seen any hostile mobs in this cave at all. Like, a cave usually has a ton of mobs in it, but this one seems to have none. Okay, why are there a bunch of dripstones on the roof like this? Am I crazy, or does this look exactly like a dripstone trap waiting to happen? Like, if I was under here, someone could just break one of these, and boom, I would be dead. Yeah, I'm just gonna take care of these real quick. I've been traveling this cave for a while now, and there's been no luck. Like, if everything was trying to kill me, this would be the perfect place for it to happen. Hold on a minute. Is this not the entrance to the cave from earlier? Wait, how did I end up going in a circle? I swear I don't remember backtracking at all. But I know this is the entrance because of the blocks I put here, and also this giant... Hold on a minute. Why is there lava coming from the entrance to the cave? Okay, now this is really weird. How would lava just randomly spawn exactly where I entered this cave? Okay, we need to find another way out of here. I am done with this seed. I did have my suspicions at first, but this confirms it. This seed is definitely out to kill me. Yeah, we just need to find an exit out of this cave right now. I swear I'm hearing noises right now as well that definitely weren't there before. Come on, where's the exit to this cave? It feels like it's just endless. Come on, exit please. Hold on, what is that? Why is there a villager, and why is he naked? Hello, random villager. What's going on, man? Surely you know a way out of here, right? Like, you're gonna help me, right? Why is he just staring at me menacingly? Wait, hold on. It's a death villager? Oh my god. The villager, the house, it's all making sense now. Never trust a villager. Yeah, this seed is definitely real. Do not play this seed unless you want to get killed, because what just happened? Coming up next, we have the Seed of the Endless Desert. It is said that when you create a world using Seed Desert with numbers like this, there will be an infinite desert. Yeah, this is not a desert. We spawned in a plains. I guess this is myth busted then. But wait, there's also a chest right here though. Did I turn on starter chests? Why would I turn on starter chest? There's no way I did that. And yeah, we got some starter stuff. Wait, is that a saddle? Okay, I'm 90% sure you can't get a saddle from a starter chest. And I don't think I even turned on starter chests to begin with. This is so weird. Whatever, I guess we keep exploring this plains. Maybe it will turn into a desert. Let's pretend that the grass is dead bushes right now, and I'm breaking dead bushes. Okay, wait. Tell me why there is camels inside of a plains biome. I'm telling you, camels do not spawn in a plains. Is this a new 1.21 feature? Like, what's going on? I'm not even on 1.21. There just should not be any camels here. Maybe we can use one of these guys, though. Hey man, you want to wait. Where did they go? I'm telling you guys, there was literally just 3 camels right here. How did they disappear? Like, 1 disappearing? That would make sense. 2 of them? Now that's a little weird, but 3 disappearing? Something has to be up with this seed. Well, I guess we just keep exploring then. Weird things are happening on the seed, but none of them seem to be desert related at all. It could be possible that we just haven't found the endless desert yet. Maybe it's like a backrooms type of thing. You have to fall into it. But yeah, there's nothing else really weird going on as of right now. Like, let me know if you guys see anything weird. I feel like if the seed is supposed to be cursed, we should be seeing it. Is that a desert well? Okay, yeah, apparently there's a desert well in the middle of this plains. First we had camels, and now we have a well. But this well isn't telling us how to get to the infinite desert. Oh well, you guys get it? Maybe we throw a piece of gold into the well, kinda like how people throw coins into fountains. We gotta go into creative for this. Come on, gold, bring us to the infinite desert. Okay, it just did nothing. That is lame. Maybe we could try diamonds? Diamonds is the best offering I have. Now show us the desert. Did anyone hear that? If I look up and there's a desert all of a sudden, I'm gonna leave the world. Okay, there's no desert. For a second, I thought that sound actually meant something. I guess it was just a cave noise or something. Okay, at this point, I'm probably gonna have to say this one is busted. I mean, I've been looking around for a while, and I still have yet to even see a desert. The desert things in the plains is the only real evidence we have of this being true. And even then, those could just be a glitch or something. Oh hey, we found a yellow sheep. Aren't these supposed to be rare or something? Wait, Yellow sheep? That is not something that can spawn in Minecraft. Like, I've heard of a pink sheep, but yellow? No. That's weird. There's just one yellow sheep. Oh wait, the sheep died. What happened to him? He was just fine a second ago. Who killed the yellow sheep? Why would you do this? Oh well, I'm sure that was just nothing. Nothing to be concerned about. Just a yellow sheep dying in the middle of nowhere. Totally normal day out here. Okay. That is not supposed to be here. Like camels? Maybe that's normal. A desert well? A little strange. But a whole pyramid? Yeah, that is definitely not normal. Maybe we finally found the entrance to the endless desert. Okay, why is there more yellow sheep inside of this pyramid? What is with these yellow sheep? Let's check for anything weird on the top before we go down into the bottom. I know there's a secret room in here that was added in 1.20, so we can check that out. Okay, nothing really weird so far. Yeah, nothing is really weird with this room. It seems perfectly normal. What about on the sides here? Oh wait, why is this blocked off? Usually there's an entrance here, so what's behind this? Oh, there's a bunch of diamond blocks. I wouldn't exactly call this scary. This is more like exactly what I would be looking for if I started a new world. Like, yeah, just give me these free diamonds. Thanks, Desert Temple. And there's also more blocks on this side of the temple, but this time they are gold. Well, this is more of a secret room seed than a scary seed, I guess, but we still do have one more place to check. The bottom of the temple. Now, usually there's a TNT trap down here with some chests, but after seeing those two rooms, who knows what will be down here. Yeah, it just looks the same as usual. We got 4 chests with normal loot and the pressure plate. Do I dare step on the pressure plate? Guys, what do you think? Is it a good or a bad idea to step on this pressure plate? Alright, whatever. Let's just do it. Let's blow up the cursed desert temple. Okay, it just blew up like normal, guys. So I guess this seed is busted. Nothing weird is going on here. Wait, I was not in a desert before. I would definitely remember if I found a desert before this, because I was literally looking for one forever. Also, why am I no longer in creative, and why am I no longer able to sprint? Luckily, I can just fix that by running the command again. Endless desert thought it could get to me. But yeah, this definitely looks like an endless desert, and the person who found this seed also reported finding some kind of glitched camel. I don't know if that was the camels from before, or if it was something different, but we are not sticking around to find out. I was able to make it to the endless desert. That is enough for me to believe this one is true. I mean, if there was glitched camels, we would definitely be seeing them by now while flying around here. But no, it's just all desert, which is honestly quite creepy. I can see why this seed would be scary. What happened in the forest earlier? I'm telling you, I just saw something unusual in the trees over there. This is so bad. This forest really has me feeling like I'm hallucinating now. I'm sure there was nothing there. It was probably just a zombie or something, considering that it's nighttime. What's up with this tree right here? I swear this is not normal. Can trees fall down in Minecraft, or is this man-made? This kind of reminds me of the shipwreck thing from earlier, which just randomly disappeared. Okay, that is not possible. More random logs on the ground, and then they just disappeared again. What is going on in this world? And no way. Okay, I'm telling you, I definitely saw something this time. There is no way. Something is definitely in this forest. Okay, maybe if we go back and then come back again. Okay, that sound was terrifying. Yeah, if there is something in this forest, we don't want to find out. I'm getting out of here. Come on, let's find an exit to this forest. Why is it so hard to find an exit to everything in these seeds? There's just trees everywhere. Does this ever end? Maybe this is the seed of the endless forest. This is terrifying. I do not want to... Wait, is something following me? What is this noise? It sounds like something is definitely following me. I am not turning around for this. Whatever's making this sound, I don't even want to know. Oh no, I think we might be hitting a dead end. Oh, never mind. We can just go up here. Was this sound just this pig? No way that the pig was making those sounds. It sounded so much different than pig sounds. Alright, I don't know. Everyone was hyping up this living tree, and the whole time it was really just fake. The seed is busted, guys. There is no living tree in the forest. Just some scary pigs and some misplaced wood. Minecraft isn't a scary game. That's not me. It's, Photoshop. So naturally, when I saw this video about making the most terrifying Minecraft mod, I had to give it a try to see if Minecraft can really be scary. So there's 2 versions of the mod, regular and nightmare mode. Now obviously you already know which mode I'm gonna go with. Okay, fine, I'll do nightmare mode. So obviously we're gonna play this mod in hardcore mode, because why wouldn't I make the horror mod even worse by adding hardcore? That sounds like a perfectly good idea, right? So I'm just gonna do some normal things like cutting down trees, and hopefully we don't run into this guy. I don't really know anything about the mod yet because I didn't watch the video in order to make it even more scary, so I have no idea where this guy spawns. All I really know is the mod is called Cave Noises, so I'm assuming he spawns in a cave. So that's exactly where we're going. And by the end of the video, I want to kill this guy. That's the goal. And obviously, now that we have some stone tools, the next place I'm gonna go is get some iron. At least that's what you would think. I'm not going in there yet. Instead, I'm going to look for some food. And we don't want any of this food. This stuff is bad quality. Instead, we need to find some of the best food in Minecraft if we're gonna survive this guy. Oh, is that a pink sheep? How did I just find a pink sheep naturally? I swear I didn't put that there. Maybe this guy's good luck. He'll protect us from the cave monster. I'm not gonna lie, even though I know he only spawns in caves, I'm kinda scared I'm gonna run into this guy on the surface already. But I still have yet to hear any cave sounds, so I'm pretty sure I'm fine. Stolen goods. This is the best food in Minecraft. I'm sure the villagers won't mind that I'm literally taking all of it. Alright, and let's check this house. Ooh, we got some decent stuff. What was that noise? I'm pretty sure it was this guy using this, but I don't know. That's kind of got me scared, I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard that noise before. Alright, let's quickly kill this guy. And now we actually have a decent amount of iron, so I'm gonna make a pickaxe, and I'm gonna get some wood, and I'm gonna make a shield, because we're definitely gonna need this against him. Now for the last iron, I'm just gonna make a helmet, so at least we have some armor going into the caves. Now I have no idea what we're gonna need to defeat this guy, but we're probably going to need at least full iron armor. I'm assuming he does a lot of damage. So the best place to look for iron is in a cave. It's also the best place to die to the cave monster, but that won't happen, I'm sure. Of course, we gotta find a cave first. There's absolutely no way I'm digging down with this guy in the game. Can caves even spawn in jungles? I swear I've never seen a cave in a jungle. I might just be looking in the wrong place. It's also turning nighttime, which is kind of scary because I don't know if this guy can spawn on the surface. The mod says cave noise, but that really doesn't tell me anything about if he spawns on the surface or not. Also, we're in hardcore, so there's gonna be a massive amount of mobs. I need to find a cave quick. Okay, and here's our cave. And there's also a mine shaft down there. That isn't scary at all. Alright, we're just gonna slowly go down at first. I don't want to go too deep. And also, we're gonna need torches because I turned Fulbright off for this. I'm not really seeing any coal up here. Do I want to go down there? I'm just kidding. I'm definitely going down there. I don't care. Okay, maybe this wasn't a great idea. Get some of this. Guys, come on. I'm worried about the cave monster, not you guys. Okay, I just want to make some torches, guys. Come on. Okay, and we got some torches. That's really good. I still have yet to hear any noises. Alright, let's just keep getting iron. If we have full iron, I feel way more confident against this guy. I'm not gonna lie. I keep looking around everywhere, making sure I'm not getting jumped. Okay, we got 18 iron. That means I can make full iron. That's huge. I have a feeling if he's gonna be anywhere, he's gonna be in this mine shaft, so we're gonna check that out next. So there's a mine shaft down there. Ooh, and there's some diamonds too. We're not really looking for that. We're looking for the cave monster. And now we're in the mine shaft. And all I'm really seeing is some normal mobs here. Not really seeing anything in this mine shaft either. I think maybe we're gonna have to go even deeper if we want to find this guy, so let's just go get those diamonds. Is he really gonna let us get these diamonds? I mean, come on. Alright, let's get the diamonds. And it's only 2. I mean, I guess we just make a sword because we're trying to kill this guy. Maybe we need to start going even crazier. Maybe I need to stop using torches. Okay, there's no shortage of random zombies dropping from the sky. But yeah, maybe I stop using torches. Okay, so it's absolutely dark over here. I still have no idea where this guy is. You'd think this is the perfect place for him to spawn, but I still haven't even heard any noises, so I don't know. I guess we just keep caving then. Maybe we can find more diamonds, because the more gear we get, the better chance we have against this guy at least. Oh, and there's literally more right here. By now you'd think I would have heard a cave sound, but I still have yet to hear anything. Maybe this mod really isn't scary. Okay, I honestly thought that was him, but it's just a witch. I don't even know where this guy is. The mobs are scarier than the cave monster. I swear I just saw someone over there. Okay, nah, that's kind of scary. I swear I just saw someone over there. I actually have no idea. Could have just been a creeper or something. It's definitely fine. Okay, I definitely am not hearing things. You had to have heard that. There's no way. I am not going in that direction. I don't know if that was a glow squid and I've just never heard them. I'm still not going that way. I know I said I wasn't afraid of him, but now I don't know. I swear I'm hearing footsteps too. We actually got to get to like an open area here. I don't want this guy jumping me out of nowhere. Ooh, and I see sunlight here. That's definitely a good place to be right now. We're definitely gonna go back here. There's definitely nothing wrong with this world right now. Everything is normal here. Okay, I'm not hearing things. I for sure just heard that way. I don't know what that is, but I keep hearing it. I feel like I'm gonna head back over here, because this is where I heard him originally. Maybe he's over this way. Now, running towards him probably isn't the best idea, but I mean, at this point, we gotta do it. Okay, I definitely heard that again. Fine, it's fine. We got this zombie and we got torches. All we need. We're about to not have this zombie. Maybe he's up here, because I see water coming from this. Yeah, maybe it is glow squids. Nah, that is not glow squids, and we're also drowning. I definitely didn't die, as seen by my newfound durability in that message in chat. Proves I didn't die. I would never die. There's nowhere to go, guys. I just want to go back. Like that sound right there, making me want to go to the surface. But I'll stay in the cave. Why not? Yeah, that is not sounding very good. I will tell you that. It does not sound great. How are we gonna kill this guy? I feel like we just stay here if we want any chance of killing him. It's an open area. I mean, he could jump on our head, but that's about it. Okay. He's gotta stop with that. Oh my god. That is him. That is him. Okay, he's probably not that bad. How much damage does he do? Oh, that's not bad. Okay. There's not much I can do. There's honestly not much I can do there. Well, at least I have cheats on. I mean, this is totally legit. I'm playing hardcore. Real. I don't know. I feel like I could have killed him if the lava wasn't there, but his hitbox is like really small. I don't know. I will say it kind of scared me when he spawned in. I won't lie. Like, other than that, he wasn't that bad. I think we can definitely kill him, though. And he's already coming back. He already wants us. And I guess we just fight him in an open area again. It's probably the best chance. Oh, he is back already. He just has no hitbox. Okay, he's gotta be dead. Oh, wait, he just has 0 hitbox. Alright, I mean, certainly we can kill him this time. There he is. He does have a hitbox. I just can't hit him. He's actually unhittable. He's unhittable. I'm actually not sure if you can kill him. Like, I swear he's unkillable. That was so weird. I guess it's time to resort to another method. We need to trap this guy. Clearly the sword isn't working out. Don't mind me, I'm just mining coal. I hope no scary monsters come out. Okay, I actually hope it doesn't come out. What was that? I'm not even actually in a cave. There's daylight. Just mining coal. Nothing to see here. Okay, this cave does not look like a good place to fight him, but whatever. We're just going down. Okay, this place looks better. It's like a goat horn noise. There's no way these are real cave sounds, right? Wait, is that a left-handed skeleton? Isn't that rare? Oh, he is here. Let's try this. And it actually works. He's just in the boat. I bet he didn't think of that. Yeah, what are you gonna do now? Watch him teleport out of the boat. Alright, let's see if you can actually... That creeper actually almost fumbled that. I'm pretty sure I can't even hit him in the boat. Okay, now I can hit him. But see, it just stops working. So weird. Am I just bad? Okay, and we killed him. Kinda. That wasn't... I guess that doesn't really count as killing him. We're definitely gonna have to kill him the legit way right now. Oh, he is out. Wait, he's not chasing me. Why is he not chasing me? Alright, this is just a Mickey Mouse kill, honestly. Oh, now he's upset. Dude, wait, where'd he go? The noise he makes is so scary. I can barely hear myself talk over this. Alright, let's go in for the sword. Oh my god, he's so fast. Okay, and that scream after. Alright, I guess we technically killed him legit. I mean, he was standing still for a little bit of it, but still, I'm gonna count that. And as for if this is the scariest mod or not, it definitely was pretty scary at the beginning. But after encountering him for the first time, it really isn't that bad. I will say I'm now permanently scarred from this mod, though, because every time I hear a Minecraft cave sound, it will never be the same. Okay, we are not going anywhere near that. A couple months ago, I made a video on the scariest mod in Minecraft, and since then, a completely new Cave Dweller mod has been released that is supposedly 10 times as scary. So just like last time, I decided to be the judge of that. Here we are in a brand new world, and apparently this mod is way scarier than the last one. So in order to make it worse, I'm using shaders so that my caves will be very dark, which is definitely going to end up being a problem later in the video. So let's collect some wood and some stone, make all my stone tools, the usual Minecraft stuff, and our goal in this video is to make full diamond armor. I am not allowed to leave the cave until I'm either wearing full diamond or I'm dead. I'm really hoping it won't be the second one, but with what happened last time, I'm not very confident. But confidence shouldn't matter, as long as I have enough gear to survive the Cave Dweller. So I went on a mission to get some food, and what better place to get food than a village? First things first, we gotta get rid of this guy. I could really use his iron. And now we need some hay bales. Looks like I found the only village that comes with no hay bales. But it doesn't really matter though, because there is some conveniently placed food right here. And now I'm just gonna smelt some of this iron we got, and we'll make a shield and a pickaxe. Now let's smelt the rest of this food, and we'll get a bucket of water because I do a lot of jumping. Alright, now we're pretty much set up to go into a cave, and once I go into this cave, I am not allowed to come back up until I'm full diamond armor. Or of course the second option, which I don't want to talk about. The first thing I'm gonna do in here is get some coal because it's gonna be super dark with these shaders. And yeah, I guess we're just going into this cave. Okay, creepers already? You guys aren't the monster that I'm supposed to be worried about. Like actually, please go away. We might as well get all the iron that we find down here, as having some armor would be pretty useful. And it seems this cave has come to an end, so I have to dig down. Okay, that is not really what I wanted. Okay, I just got jump scared by a zombie. To be fair, he fell on top of me. How was I supposed to expect that? Still no sign of the actual cave monster though. I remember the old one making a lot more noise. As long as he gives me time to get full iron, I guess. I don't know why I'm mining gold. We don't need gold. But we do have enough iron now, so let's just put some iron into these furnaces. And now I'm feeling a lot safer, so let's go find some diamonds. I'm not gonna lie, the scariest part about this mod right now is the fact that I haven't heard the cave monster yet. Like, did I forget to install the mod again? Okay, this is a giant cave, which is honestly more scary than a small one. And that is exactly why it's more scary than a small cave. That is definitely not a normal noise. Okay, zombie, now is not the time. I have a cave monster stalking me. Only thing we can really do is keep exploring the cave, I guess. Well, we could just stand still and do nothing, but that won't help us find diamonds. I'm also not sure how we're gonna find any diamonds, considering how dark it is in this cave. I've probably ran past so many already. Okay, it's been a while since we heard that noise. Maybe I actually got away from him. And I was just talking about how I thought he was gone, and now he's back. But at least we found our first vein of diamonds, and it's just a 1 vein, meaning we still need 23 more. Okay, we are not going anywhere near that. I don't know if you can even see that on the video, but he was literally right there. What am I even supposed to do? Can I just wait him out by sitting here? Okay, nah, I'm not going back out there. I'm just gonna strip mine to another cave. There's no way I'm dealing with that. Alright, I've been strip mining long enough that I'm ready to go back. If he's there, I don't even care anymore. I'm not scared of this guy. Okay, he's not back here anymore. Wait, what was that? That is definitely not a normal noise. Yep, that's definitely him. Okay, he's literally right there. I know I shouldn't go back, but I gotta see this again. And he's just gone. That is so weird. Well, at least we didn't die. Oh, and we also found more diamonds. And we found even more, bringing our total up to 3. Yeah, I'm not sure if this full diamond thing is happening. But as long as we just have peaceful interactions with him, just like the last one, we should be fine. That doesn't stop the fact that I'm still terrified, though, but that's all good. Okay, of course he's in the only part of the cave that I haven't been to yet. I guess I'm just gonna slowly dig down to make sure he isn't down here. Okay, my pickaxe is about to break, so I'm making a terrible investment. We are now back down to 0 diamonds. Alright, we just gotta leave this bunker. There is no way that I'm getting any diamonds from here. Yeah, he's not even here. It's just a skeleton. I wonder if this is what exploring an actual cave feels like. Okay, this is crazy. How are we gonna find the deep dark when we are also being followed by the cave dweller? We're about to have the cave dweller and the warden in here. Okay, the jump scared by random mobs total is up to 2 now. Honestly, less than I expected. Nah, we're getting out of here. I do not want to be a part of whatever that is. He can stay down there wherever he is, because we are not dealing with that right now. I really don't need you attacking me right now. This is a bad time. Okay, I've been around this whole cave like 5 times. I think we're safe up here. But he definitely spawned or something, because that was not the same noise from before. All we need is 24 diamonds, which is exactly where we started. And at this point, I'm pretty sure it isn't even a lack of diamonds. It's just a lack of eyesight because of these shaders. And I just got jump scared by a regular mob again. Come on, diamonds, stop being the rarest ore in the caves. We're also running dangerously low on food. I'm about to have to start eating rotten flesh. Okay, that is a terrifying noise. I'm blocking in for this one. I don't know what that is. Why is it so long? How is it still going? Yeah, we're just gonna sit here for a second. I am not ready to face that noise. Oh, at least we found some diamonds. It's always a 1 vein. I'm just being cursed by the cave dweller or something. After that last noise, I am not stopping for anything. We're just running at this point. Okay, and we found more diamonds. And instead of 1, this time we got 2. That's great. Alright, it appears I'm out of food, so it's time to dig into our rotten flesh. More deep dark? We are not going this way. Okay, it looks like our only option is the deep dark, actually. Maybe the warden will help us fight the cave dweller, so it might actually be a good idea. I keep feeling like I'm hearing noise because everything is so silent. Ooh, there might be food in one of these chests. Nothing. And we actually got some food. Let's go. Okay, it appears he is not happy that we were able to eat. And he's literally just right there. Yeah, that's not terrifying at all. I hate the fact that he just stalks you and he doesn't actually attack. It kind of makes me want to chase him for some reason. But I'm gonna use my brain and just avoid the area that we saw him in, which is probably the best idea. And it's just the only way we were able to go, so of course he would spawn there. Well, hopefully he's not still here. Okay, he did leave us some diamonds. And it's just a 1 vein again. At this point, we are just stuck down here. The only way out might just be to die to him. It's not looking good at this point. Another 1 vein. That is awesome. I also feel like I'm starting to backtrack in my cave, but I just don't have enough torches to be placing everywhere. Okay, this is a much larger cave. I'm pretty sure I haven't been here yet. There's gotta be diamonds in a cave this big. There's no way. I literally can't see anything at the bottom here, but I definitely just have to jump down. Oh, and we found more diamonds. Just another 1 vein, which brings our total up to 6. Okay, it's that scary noise again. The one that lasts for way too long and makes you immediately box up. Since I'm able to make a piece of diamond armor, I might as well. Anything to help us fight against this guy. And I swear I can hear this guy breathing. Am I going insane? Okay, there's just way too many mobs out here. Why is there a giant water pool here that I can't see? These shaders are honestly half of the experience. I really can't see anything down here. Come on, there has to be diamonds. This cave is so big. We're almost out of rotten flesh. It looks like we need to farm a little more. And we're also almost out of torches. That will definitely be a problem if that happens. I've never been more scared while caving. This is actually insane. I just don't understand where the diamonds are. This is actually crazy. Okay, why is there just a zombie with a sword? If that thing hits me, it'll probably kill me. Please don't blow up the food. Okay, I'm kind of busy right now, so how about we just don't? Why is the zombie just waiting for me to leave? This is where I heard him, but it's really just the only way that I can go. This is just kind of looking like the end right here. We got no food and no torches. Oh my god. And we're just dead. I threw my pickaxe trying to press 1. He just gets me at the perfect time when I'm not paying attention. That's actually crazy. I had no idea he would be there. I guess that proves it. This mod is definitely scarier than the first one. If you want to play this mod, I put a link to the mod creator's video in the description, but I don't know why you would want to play this. I'm gonna be afraid of caving forever now. This is the least realistic that Minecraft can be, and every single time that I die, Minecraft is going to get more and more realistic until either my PC explodes or we beat the realistic Ender Dragon. This is level 1, and everything is literally just one color. My crosshair is also just a big square, so that's pretty interesting. The water also looks really awful. You can't even see through it, and there's these weird green things coming out of it. I'm not really sure if it's even supposed to be like that. But yeah, this texture pack just looks really bad. I hope there is nobody that actually plays Minecraft like this. Like, look at this lava. I honestly kind of want to jump into it just to get to the next level of realism, because this looks too bad. Okay, I got some food, I think. It doesn't really look appetizing, though. It's kind of just a square. Okay, and this chicken is definitely the worst thing I've seen so far. What is this? Alright, let's just get some stone tools because we still have to beat the game. And this crafting looks so bad, you can't even see where to put the items. Now let's mine some stone. Oh wait, this is coal. I literally can't even tell the difference. That's so funny. Okay, now we have our stone tools, and I think it's time to upgrade to level 2. I've had enough of this. So let's just make a bed, and we'll set our spawn, and let's just put all our stuff in a chest. Alright, now it's time to jump in this pure orange liquid, and now we are on realism level 2, and this looks a lot better than it did before. We have some shaders, and a little bit better of a texture pack. Although this still isn't a very realistic texture pack, I mean, what is this block even supposed to be? I have no idea. The good thing is, now we're actually able to tell which tool is which, instead of them just being a bunch of big squares. And wait, there's also new sounds when you switch between tools. I'm 99% sure it wasn't like that before. Okay, now that we have this texture pack, I want to try to get a full set of iron armor to see what it looks like. So in order to do that, we're first going to have to find a cave. Oh wait, I thought this block was coal, but it's actually andesite. And wait, is this iron in the corner here? Nope, that's granite. Okay, that's one bad thing about this texture pack. You can't tell what the ores look like. Wait, look at this wolf. This guy is looking super realistic. I wish I had a bone to tame the realistic wolf, but unfortunately I don't. And wait, are these dolphins? They look so cool. Look at their tails move. Okay, the water looks really bad though, so I'm just gonna have to move on. Okay, we finally found some coal, and it actually looks a lot different than andesite. And with these realistic sounds, this cave is actually kind of scary, but the good thing is we did find some iron. But yeah, these sounds definitely make caving kind of scary, even though it's mainly just water that I'm hearing. Alright, now we have all our iron, so we just need to smelt it. And let's craft our full iron armor. Okay, and it's just literally regular armor. I wasted all that time getting it thinking it would look cool, just like the actual items do. So after that disappointment, I think it's time to upgrade our realism again. So let's just put all our stuff away in this chest, and I'm just gonna jump in this lava to upgrade to level 3. Okay, this is level 3, and now things are starting to actually look pretty realistic. You can tell because I'm getting a lot lower FPS than I was before. And yeah, these items actually look a lot more realistic now. I mean, look at this sword. This is crazy. And I'm also walking kind of realistic now. My limbs are actually bending when I walk. This looks so weird. Wait, is this supposed to be iron ore? Why is it glowing? And wait, physics are on in this level too? This is so cool. The coal ore is just being broken into a bunch of pieces. I can also hold my torches out now for light. I don't need to place them. Okay, it's nighttime right now, so I want to sleep to see how realistic it looks in the day. And wait, there's monsters nearby. That's not cool. Look at this zombie. Why is he walking like this? Okay, and he literally got chopped into a bunch of pieces. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, now we can go to sleep, and let's just go up to the surface to see what it looks like in the daytime. Why is the spider jumping like that? Is this how spiders fight in real life? I don't think spiders fight at all, actually. But yeah, this level of realism actually looks insane during the daytime. I wonder how it can even get more realistic than this. Okay, we still have to beat the game, so my next goal is to make it to the nether, which means we need to find some lava. And the realistic lava is probably going to look so cool, judging by how everything else almost looks. Okay, and we found a ruined portal. This will probably be good enough to go to the nether. Alright, what's in the chest? Okay, we got 4 obsidian. That's actually going to be really good to go to the nether. So let's just place 2 of these here, and we'll put the other ones here. And now let's just water this lava to complete the portal. And we actually still need a flint and steel. I don't know how I forgot that. Wait, is that gravel? I can't even tell. How is it blending into the sand like that? That's pretty cool. Okay, now let's just light the portal, and I was honestly expecting it to look a lot cooler, I'm not gonna lie. And this is the realistic nether. It's definitely not as cool as the realistic overworld. And now that we've made it to the nether, we need to find a nether fortress so we can get some blaze rods to beat the game. Okay, this guy needs to stop chasing me. He's not even realistic. Why is he here? Digging in the wall is just not really possible. I literally can't see anything. Okay, we finally found the fortress. Now we just have to kill some blazes. Okay, let's just kill all these blazes. And I think that's definitely enough blaze rods. So now it's time to get some ender pearls. But first, I kind of want to see what level 4 looks like. So I'm just gonna jump in here. And this is what level 4 looks like. It's honestly not that much different. It probably wasn't the best idea to die in the nether either, because now I have to go back and find all my stuff. But at least the game is looking a bit more realistic now. Also, look at this crafting table. It's super realistic. Okay, we're back in the nether, and honestly, nothing has really changed here either. It also seems like some of the blocks are just not realistic anymore. I'm not sure how that happened. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm going in the right direction. Hopefully I am, or my stuff is going to despawn. And this spot looks good, because there's a ton of blocks here. And yeah, my stuff is down there. Good. I was beginning to think I lost it. The next thing we need to do to beat the game is get some ender pearls, so I'm going to try to find the biome that has endermen. And I'm pretty sure this is the biome where endermen spawn, so now we just need to find some. Alright, let's just put this guy in a boat. Wait, what is going on when I hit him? That is so weird. Wait, the endermen have like special fighting techniques. This is actually really cool. Look at him, he's trying to kick me. I didn't know that enderman knew how to fight like this. Alright, I think we have enough pearls, so now it's time to go back to the overworld and find the stronghold so we can get to the realistic ender dragon. Okay, the Eye of Ender says it's this way, so let's start heading to the stronghold. This water also looks pretty realistic. If it wasn't for the render distance, this would look so cool. Okay, we found some land, and I think we should be getting pretty close to the stronghold. Wait, are these supposed to be pigs? I didn't know there were super realistic pigs in the game. And also these turtles look kind of realistic, and also kind of not. It's a mix of both. We might as well get some beds from this village, because we're going to need these to kill the dragon. And wait, look at these villagers. I had no idea they looked like this. I'm also pretty sure the villager just blinked, which is really weird. I don't really like that actually. Okay, it's looking like the stronghold is right here, so let's just dig down. I literally can't see anything because of the physics. What is this? And we made it to the realistic stronghold, and I'm instantly being attacked by every mob. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is the only place that the portal room can be, but there's just so many mobs. I don't know how to get there. Okay, I think that's all of them. Wait, the silverfish is actually gonna kill me. Okay, that was almost really bad. So, as you can see, I only have 2 hearts left, so I'm going to have to die one more time before we fight the dragon. But the problem is, this next level might just break my PC, so hopefully it doesn't. Okay, this is level 5, and now things are looking insane. I don't even know where my stuff went. I'm pretty sure this level just broke it. I also don't know what this black thing is in the way here. This is so weird. Okay, I got my stuff back, but don't ask how. I definitely got it very legit. And now, as you can see, things are looking too realistic. I'm not even placing blocks anymore. It's just a bridge. Okay, I'm pretty sure the portal room is in this direction. And yeah, we've made it to the realistic portal room. Okay, let's just fill this thing in with Eyes of Ender. And I guess we're just gonna jump right in. Whoa, why is all the endstone purple? Oh yeah, I forgot the whole thing was just gonna collapse like that. Okay, so it looks like there are no longer any blocks in the end. The island is actually realistic, but the ender dragon is just default. That's actually kind of disappointing. At least the end looks super cool though. I mean, look at that sky. Okay, so we need to place some obsidian here, and let's just get our beds ready to kill the ender dragon. Okay, I don't really think this is working. It's impossible for me to see the dragon's hitbox. I guess we just have to use our sword. Okay, this isn't gonna work either. The dragon just keeps disappearing. I'm not really sure what to do here anymore, so I guess let's just break all these crystals. Okay, I kind of forgot that was gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie. At least we get to see the final level in the overworld though. Oh my god, this is a completely different game from when we were in the overworld last. Look at this tree. It's basically a real tree. And the sun is just a big blob. There's literally just no blocks as well, so everything just looks completely different. Okay, even though we died, it was definitely worth it, because level 6 is insane. Look at these caves. They're just circles. In the side of this mountain, it's like actually difficult to climb up now. The first room was Savannah themed. I was able to find these buttons, so I pressed all of them, and one of them made a ding noise and dropped down water on the outside. So I went up the water and found a very detailed chest with a square inside of it. The square was actually a netherite hoe, so I used it to start hoeing the edge blocks to hopefully reveal something behind them. I eventually found out one of the blocks was connected to some redstone, and it put a block of sand inside of my inventory. The sand could only be placed on sandstone though, which was kind of a problem. After a couple minutes, I ended up finding the sandstone hidden under the opaque water pool, and that unlocked the entrance to the next room. Now the graphics were looking a little better. I was in the nether and I could see the exit on an island across the lava. So I parkoured up the trees and searched the top of them but found nothing. I noticed I could cross these vines to the glowstone though, and now I was able to reach an island. The island had a barrel with a saddle in it, so I took that and went back down. I then parkoured again and I checked the other glowstone, but all I found was a button that did nothing. I spent the next 5 minutes searching for anything else in the room and I found nothing. So I just kept trying to jump across the lava without dying, and eventually it worked. In room 3, I was now able to see myself when I looked down. It was a snow biome with a cabin, and I instantly noticed some barrels. So I searched them and found a raw pork chop and a piece of charcoal. I found another pork chop in a hidden barrel, and then I entered the house. In the house, there was even more empty barrels, and there was also a smoker, so I decided to cook the pork. Cooking the pork gave me a stone shovel, and I climbed onto the roof of the house only to find another piece of charcoal. From the top of the house, I was able to see another chest though, so I parkoured over to the chest and found a lever inside of it. Now that I had checked everything, I started digging the snow with the shovel because that seemed logical. In one corner, I found a hidden room that had another lever inside of it. And in another corner, I found another hidden room that required me to use the lever to enter it. When I entered the room, there was another door, and I was able to use my other lever to go to the next room. In room 4, the shaders had gotten better, but this was still nothing compared to what was to come. I also forgot to enable the texture pack, so pretend it's like this. I was in a jungle with a huge temple in the middle, and I needed to make a sacrifice. I found these blocks which were making weird sounds when I stood on them, and I climbed up the temple in the middle only to find a chest that was empty. I climbed on top of the trees and I found a sunflower in the leaves, but I was unable to break it. I went up higher and I found a chest with 1 gold ingot in it, and that was it. Next, I climbed up this hill and I found a hidden chest in the corner with a lead inside of it. So I put the lead on this cow and nothing happened. But then I took the cow over to the blocks that were making sounds, and I stood on the other one and it made a noise. I went towards where I heard the noise and I found a chest with another gold ingot in it. I decided to check out what this villager was trading next, and I found a trade for a stone hoe that required a lead. So I traded for the stone hoe and saw that it could be used to break a sunflower, which I needed for the other trade option. So I went back to the top of the tree and broke the sunflower. I brought the sunflower back, and now I had a melon which could be placed on top of the coarse dirt. I found coarse dirt beside another melon, so I placed the melon down and heard another noise. I went towards the noise and a chest had appeared in this cave which had another gold ingot. At this point there was nothing left to do, so I put my gold in the chest at the top, assuming it was where I should put my sacrifice. When I put my gold in the chest, things started happening and I made it to the next room. In room 5, things were starting to get realistic. My FPS was dropping rapidly and I still had more rooms to complete, so I needed to hurry up because my PC was getting ready for takeoff. I was in a mine and I don't know why, but I took this person's head. I also found an iron pickaxe which could only break iron ore, so I started mining. I found a room beyond the iron with a person named Flumu or something, I don't know, so I took their head too. I kept mining iron and I found Flimus, and there was a lever hidden in the lava behind Flimus which could only be placed on mossy stone bricks. So I looked around for mossy stone bricks and I found an iron door which I was able to open. I found Paul, and Paul was trading 3 iron for a stone button. The problem was I had raw iron because I played the map on the wrong version. So don't tell anyone what happened, but now I have a button. There was also a book on a lectern and it had a bunch of words in it. I could only place the button on chiseled stone bricks which were right in front of me, but I didn't realize it. So I looked around for almost 5 minutes while my IQ was draining, and there was clearly a reason for that. Eventually I went back to the room and found out these were chiseled stone bricks. So I magically got more buttons, and each time I pressed a button the color of the block changed in front of it. When you actually read the book, it tells you that you need to enter a color combination. The only place I had seen colors was the armor of the people around the mine, so I tried putting their colors in alphabetical order, but it didn't work. I actually just had them in the wrong order though, so I tried again and it opened the entrance to room 6. Room 6 had a lot nicer shaders, but my FPS was dropping even faster. I was in a room from one of those rich mansions that are always haunted. I found a flower, then I found a secret room behind a trapdoor, and in the room there was an emerald on the table and nothing else I could take. I also stole the armor off of these armor stands and checked every barrel and trapdoor until I found a diamond. It was looking like my new goal was to rob this mansion rather than escape it, but then I realized someone was home and they looked very scary. It turns out they wanted to trade these items for the exact set of armor that I had, but I was still missing 2 of the items though, so I only did the first 2 trades. There was a book telling me Larry gave the key to Barry, and this was Barry, so now I knew I didn't get scammed. I went back out to the main room and found the sunflower right where I started, and now I only needed an iron nugget. I ended up finding a room behind this large wall of paintings, and inside of it was the nugget. So I took the nugget back to Barry and got the last piece of armor. I tried putting on the armor, but it did nothing, but then I remembered where I got it from and it made sense. So I placed the armor on the armor stands and I heard a noise, but the door was still closed. I ran around for anything else and I found a secret room behind the paintings, but it was useless. So I ran around some more and I found a hidden room in the most obvious place it could have been. In this room there were 4 swords on the wall and I instantly knew I had to rotate them in a certain way to open the door. I remembered seeing a sword like this in the first hidden room, so I left the room and I ended up finding the diamond sword instead, which was pointing at the top left. So I rotated the diamond sword and I ran back to the trapdoor hidden room and found the gold sword pointing at the bottom left. Now I just needed to find one more sword because I could just guess the last one. So I went back to the useless room beyond the painting and it was still useless. I ended up finding the last sword in the first open room and it was pointing towards the middle right. So I guessed the last sword and I heard a noise telling me the door was open. So I went through the door and the gold block was here to teleport me to the next room. Room 7 had new shaders and they came with really annoying motion blur. I also had a very realistic shadow. I found a chest with a wooden shovel that could break red sand, so I started digging. After breaking almost every block of red sand, I found a chest containing a cactus. The cactus could only be placed on top of a cactus, so I found a cactus I could place it on and it created a staircase. When I got to the top of the staircase, it let me jump to a tree, and the tree had a chest with cocoa beans in it that could only be placed on jungle logs. So I found the one spot on this tree it would let me place them, and a ding went off and I was given a turtle egg. I didn't notice I was given a turtle egg though, so I spent 5 minutes being stupid before I noticed the egg and saw I could only place it on sandstone. So I spent 5 more minutes searching every sand block because of the realistic textures, but then I found out it was the block that already had the turtle eggs on it. Placing the turtle egg gave me sugarcane, which I placed on the only sugarcane without string on top of it to open the entrance to the final room. Room 8 looked like some sort of backrooms maze, so I put on the final level of realism, but unfortunate things happened. I wasn't giving up though, so I started my game up with more memory allocated, and after another crash, I got it to work, but I wasn't able to last more than 30 seconds without crashing, so enjoy this accurate representation of the last level. The level 1 graphics were insanely realistic, especially this dirt. There was a house in front of me, and inside of it I found a chest that gave me a wet sponge every time I opened it and a few furnaces beside it. There was a cauldron and a brewing stand filled with empty bottles outside, and I found a ladder leading up to the roof. On the roof there was a chest with 5 blaze rods and 3 netherwort inside of it, and I could see an entrance to another room which I couldn't make it to. I found a button on the ground, but it did nothing, and I found a staircase leading underground beside the house. Underground I found a chest that kept filling with iron ingots, and I found a button to spawn a phantom. After killing the phantom, I had the resources to make a slow falling potion, so I headed back up. I crafted buckets and used the wet sponges to fill the buckets with water. After that was done, I filled the cauldron outside with water and I used it to fill the empty bottles. Now all I had to do was wait for the slow falling potion to finish, and once I was done that, I drank the potion and glided to the next room. In this room I was getting much better FPS, but everything was still very realistic. I was on a farm with a windmill at the back of the room, so I entered the windmill. In the windmill I found a very sharp broom which could be used to break cobwebs, and I also found a scythe to break crops and an axe to break logs. I explored the top floor of the windmill and I found another chest with enchantment bottles and 3 rabbit spawn eggs. I checked the basement and I found a shopping list which told me I needed to get rabbit stew, a loaf of bread, and cooked cod. I walked further down the basement and broke the cobwebs with my broom and found a lure 3 book. Next I spawned the rabbits and only killed one of them because I already got what I needed, so why would I kill more of them? I decided to get the easiest item first, which was the bread. All I had to do was break the wheat crops with the scythe and then I could craft the bread. I also found some wood I was able to break with the axe, and then I went back to the windmill to craft my bread. It took me forever to find the crafting table, but I should have known this was a crafting table. Look how obvious it is. Now I had a piece of bread, and I also crafted a fishing rod because I needed to get cooked cod next. I went back outside and used the water to fish, only to realize I forgot to add the lure 3 enchantment to become a professional fisherman. So I added lure 3 and I was able to catch a raw cod first try. I went back down to the basement and I cooked the cod in one of the furnaces, and apparently that gave me nuggets. Now I only had 1 item left to craft, and that was rabbit stew. So the first thing I did was check Google, and Google told me that I need a carrot, a baked potato, cooked rabbit, a bowl, and a mushroom. I knew how to get 4 of these things, but I had no idea where to get a mushroom. Eventually, after checking all of these trapdoors outside, I was able to find one which had a hole underneath it. I swam down the hole and I found a little cave where there was 9 mushrooms. The problem was that I couldn't break them, but I fixed that pretty easily when I found this block of wood that I could break. Now I was able to craft the rabbit stew, and I used this button in the basement to teleport to the next level. In this level, the game was still realistic, but the shaders were noticeably worse. I was in the desert with a giant mine in the middle of the room. I went down to the bottom of the mine, and I found a lava pool that had a room behind it, but I couldn't swim through it or I would die. So I went further down the cave, and I found an elytra in a minecart chest, and 45 wood planks in a different minecart chest. I also found a cave that I had to crouch to get into, which had a chest with a bunch of totems in it. I grabbed all the totems and went back to the lava pool from earlier, which I was now able to swim across. On the other side, there was a chest with a pickaxe which could break iron ore and coal ore. So I started mining every vein of iron and coal ore that I could find, and I found nothing except this cave with a skeleton across from me. I could see a button on the floor, but I was unable to reach it, so I continued searching for something else. After finding nothing, I gave up and pressed the hint button, which told me shields can deflect arrows from skeletons. So I used my coal to smelt some iron, and I crafted a shield. I went back to the cave with the skeleton, and I blocked my shield. An arrow activated the button, but nothing happened. I thought I was stuck, but eventually I realized I had a compass in my inventory which was named X marks the spot. The compass could be used to break red wool, so I found an X made of red wool and I pressed the button to go to the next level. Now the graphics were looking less realistic, but still not bad. I was in a snow level with a cabin and 2 different snowmen. One of the snowmen was named Henry, and Henry asked me to get him a golden carrot and some pumpkin pie, so I started looking for that. I entered the cabin and found a chest with a shovel that could break red sand, a book, and 20 torches that I could place on sand. The book was called Snowman Quotes, and inside of it said sometimes instead of roasting other people, you should stop to roast yourself. I think they were referring to the fact that only 5% of you are subscribed to me. So I went outside and used the shovel to break a piece of red sand, and there was an area beside it with a small hole in the wall and that I could only crawl through. I climbed back up and I found out the torches could melt the ice, so I melted some of the ice and found more red sand in the water pool. Under the red sand there was a chest with 3 carrots and 7 gold nuggets, which meant I only needed 1 more for the golden carrot. When I swam back up, I saw a chest on a tree, so I parkoured to it and there was 3 sugarcane and 10 eggs in it. Next I used the ice to swim into the hole from before, and I found a sign with coordinates on it. When I made it to the coordinates, I found a secret lever which put the message pumpkin broken in chat. I went back down the hole and I picked up the pumpkin. Now I was able to craft the pumpkin pie, and I just needed 1 more nugget to make the golden carrot. I realized that I could just smelt my shovel and that would give me 1 more golden nugget. So I smelted the shovel and I crafted the golden carrot, and then I delivered the 2 items to Henry and he gave me a flint and steel. At first I was confused, but then I remembered what the book said from earlier, so I jumped in the fire. I was teleported into the air and there was now a cave underneath me. There was a button in the cave, and when I pressed it, all it did was play water sounds. I'm not going to lie, I cheated on this part, but basically what you had to do was get the same amount of air bubbles as times the sound was played. The next level was just default Minecraft with slight shaders. I was in some sort of space base and there was 1 room on each side of me. I decided to check the room with the chest first, and it had a chest with a book and a bunch of hunger potions. The book told me to drink the potions, but when I did, nothing seemed to happen. I climbed up a water pool in the middle and I found there was a 2nd floor. I found a gold block with a pressure plate beside it which said helmet equipper, but nothing happened when I stood on the pressure plate. I checked a few chests and I found a laser hoe and another book that said I needed to eat a baked potato for jump boost. So I went to the last accessible room and I collected a few potatoes. I also found a chest with biofuel in it, so I was able to cook the potatoes. I ate the potato and I used it to jump up to a door which led to another room with a chest that contained a button. I placed the button on the gold block which said helmet equipper, and I was given a glass block which I guess is a space helmet. I went back to the 1st floor and I was now able to enter the room that said do not leave without helmet. The room led me outside and I immediately found a chest with a music disc which was the key to something. I looked around a little bit and I found a place to put the key. When I used the key, I was given a spaceship repair tool which let me break blocks of iron. So I started breaking the spaceship with the repair tool, and I found a chest with a glass breaker that could break glass. So I went to the other side of the room and I found a place that I could break into, which led me to the next level. Now the graphics were pretty bad, and this somehow isn't even the last level. The first thing I found was a sound puzzle, which I'm pretty sure has to do with these pressure plates, but I just didn't listen to the sounds and died a few times before leaving it for later. I found a hole with a sign that said needs fire resistance, a massive unlit portal, and a nether fortress building. Inside the fortress, I found a filled cauldron and an empty brewing stand. I also found this really useful diagram and something growing that was hopefully nether wart. I went up to the roof and found 3 shields and 3 red squares, which were apparently sharp 5 gold swords. I searched the last corner of the room and I found parkour leading me to a blaze spawner. I absolutely destroyed the blazes and I got a few blaze rods, and I realized there was nothing left for me to do except the pressure plate puzzle. So I spent 15 minutes guessing the puzzle instead of using the sounds because that was easier. After crossing the puzzle, I got 2 flint and steels, and now I was able to light the nether portal. When I got through the portal, I realized I was now in the overworld, but it was actually the nether and the level before was the overworld. There was a house, and inside of it there was a chest with a shovel that could break sand and 4 fishing rods. I found a hole beside the house and it led to a cave with sand, so I broke all the sand. There was an unfinished end portal in this cave, and there was also a chest with 2 wart pickers. I couldn't find anything else, so I went back to the overworld / nether and I picked the wart. The next part was confusing because I had to use this really detailed diagram to solve it, but eventually I figured it out. It told me the slime cave was opened, and I found the slime cave with fire covering 90% of my screen. There was a button that spawned a baby slime, so I did some killing and headed back to the nether/overworld where I smelted some of my sand to make glass. Then I went back to the overworld/nether only to realize I had to go back through the portal again to craft the bottles. Now I was finally able to make a fire resistance potion, and I swam through the hole to the next room. The next room's graphics were absolutely terrible. The colors looked like I was playing the first Mario game ever created. This room had no puzzles, and it was just a bunch of trivia, which I definitely completed first try because I'm a genius. After getting all the questions correct, I was finished the puzzle, and I was able to see what this texture pack actually looked like. Honestly, it's probably better the puzzle ended here because I don't think my eyes could have handled this. And it was even worse on the title screen. This is a giant slime statue, and inside of it is one of the hardest prisons, which I am going to be attempting to escape. I spawned inside of a bedrock room with a sign that said the rules. No breaking signs. I walked out into another room and I saw a crafting table and a hopper. I opened the hopper and there was 8 iron inside. I looked up and there was a button on the roof as well as a 1-block gap, which I assumed was the exit to this room. The problem was I didn't know how to fit through the 1-block gap with only 8 iron ingots. I grabbed the crafting table and placed it so that I could look through the gap, but I found nothing. It wasn't until I checked my crafts that I realized what I needed to do. I needed to make 2 iron trapdoors, one to build up and the other to push me through the gap. So I placed the trapdoors, and after a few tries I made it to the other side. In the next room there's a 5-block gap with a pit of lava under it, and there were ice blocks below my feet. These ice blocks were packed ice though, so I could not break them for water. Normally this would be a problem because you can't make a 5-block jump in Minecraft. But if I get a running start and spam my spacebar, I am actually able to make the jump because there is ice. I made it into the next room and there's a crafting table on the floor and an item frame with a slime block on the wall. There was another room that I was safe to drop into which had more slime balls on the wall. So I collected all the slime balls and now I had 8 slime balls and 8 item frames. There was a bedrock block in the middle of the floor and I was pretty sure I needed to place a slime block on it to bounce to the next room. But I still needed 1 more slime ball to make a slime block. I looked around the room and found nothing, but then I decided to break the crafting table and the last slime ball was under it. So I put the crafting table back and I crafted the slime block. Now I could place the slime block on top of the bedrock block and jump to the next room. In the next room I found 2 item frames with a red and brown mushroom in them. There was also a slab and a deep slate block that was probably meant to blend in with the bedrock. So I broke the deep slate block and underneath it was a hopper that contained a bowl. I also tried breaking the slab, but there was nothing under it, so I put it back. I needed to make a 1.5 block jump, but the only thing I could craft was mushroom soup, so I had to be missing something. I looked around and eventually I found another deep slate block hiding in the bedrock. So I broke the deep slate and above it was a cornflower. I now knew exactly what to craft. I crafted a suspicious stew, and because I used a cornflower, the stew would give me jump boost. This jump boost would allow me to make a 1.5 block jump into the next room. Inside of the next room there was a long hole in the ground as well as a stone block in an item frame with a sign pointing towards it. There was another stone above me as well, so I grabbed the stone and dropped into the room. I collected the other stone and then checked the hole for anything else. Inside of the hole there was a crafting table and another stone, so I collected that too. I needed to make it up this wall, but 3 stone blocks definitely wouldn't be enough. So I checked the crafting table and saw that I could make 6 stone slabs, which would be better. After I made the slabs, I went to the sign that I saw earlier, assuming that was where I needed to build up. I built up and I was still short a few blocks, but I looked in F5 and saw a wooden pressure plate at the top. I realized that from where I was standing, I could throw one of the item frames on the pressure plate to activate it. So I activated the pressure plate and water came out, allowing me to swim out. In this part of the room there was nothing except for a hole in the roof, which was the exit. I was confused until I realized I could swim through the water to break the piston. Behind the piston there was a barrel that contained a slime block and that was it. So I went back into the room and now I had a piston and a slime block. If I placed the slime block on top of the piston and stood on it, I could boost myself up to the room, but the problem was I still needed to activate the piston. Luckily I could break the pressure plate from before and I could throw an item frame on it to activate the piston and boost me to the next room. Inside of this room there was a furnace in the corner, a hole with 3 beehives in it, a hopper on the roof, and a massive hole covered in signs. I opened the hopper first and inside of it was 6 blocks of sand. Unfortunately, these would be of no use to get down the hole, so I had to keep looking. There was nothing else in this room though, so I decided to break the hopper. Behind the hopper, there was an item frame with coal in it, so I was pretty sure I had to smelt the sand. So I used the furnace to smelt the sand, and I was left with 6 glass. This still didn't give me a way to get down the hole though, so I decided to break the furnace because I didn't need it anymore. Behind the furnace, there was a crafting table, and I could only make 2 things. I remembered there were still beehives in the hole, so I made bottles to collect the honey. If I collected the honey, I can make a honey block, which would allow me to take less fall damage dropping down. So I collected the honey, but I only had 3 bottles, and I needed 4 to make a block of honey. Luckily, there was another beehive hidden underneath, and I was able to make the honey block. So I dropped down and landed the clutch, making it to the next room. There was a 2-block jump to get to the next part of the room, so I had to use my honey block to get up. I thought I was stuck, but I remembered that I needed to crouch to the very edge of the block to be able to jump. Inside of the next room, there was lava flowing from the roof, as well as a second area with bamboo in it. I looked up and also ended up finding a fire resistance arrow, so I grabbed that. Before I dropped into the next part of the room, I clicked the lava to see if anything was behind it, and I found a hopper with a crafting table. Now I was sure there was nothing left at the top, so I dropped down into another part of the room. I broke the dirt holding up the bamboo, and I found a hopper underneath it with 3 string inside of it. Now I was able to craft a bow, which would allow me to use the fire resistance arrow to go inside the lava. I tried to get back up, but I didn't have enough blocks. That was when I realized there was another deep slate block, so I broke it and there was another piece of dirt behind it. Now I was able to get back to the top part, and I shot myself with the fire resistance arrow. I swam down the lava first, and there was a room with a hopper that contained 12 string. I swam up to the top of the lava, and there was a room, but I was trapped in the lava by a bedrock block above me. There was a chest I could reach though, so I opened it and found 3 wood planks. There was also a crafting table, and I knew exactly what to do. Just like in my last video, I needed to make a bed and sleep in it to get through the hole. So I made the bed and placed it in the room, but it was still daytime, so I was unable to sleep. I realized it didn't matter though, because the bed set my spawn point, so I just had to wait for the fire resistance to run out and swim in the lava until I died. I threw my items into the room so I didn't lose them, and I let myself die in the lava and respawned in the next room. I collected the chest and the crafting table, and I used them to build up to the next part of this room. I walked down this hallway, and I saw a sign that said over 98% of you are not subscribed, which is better than last time, but it still isn't 0%, so please subscribe. At the end of the hallway, there was a giant drop down into another room that I would definitely die from. It was fine though, because I still had my bed, which I could use to negate some of the fall damage. The only thing in the next room was a rabbit's foot in an item frame and a 2-block jump to another room. I could see targets in the other room, but I didn't have any arrows to shoot them. I looked around the room and I ended up finding a secret hopper with a blaze powder and a nether wart inside. Now I was pretty sure I needed to make a potion, but I was missing a brewing stand. I thought I had looked everywhere, but then I placed the bed under my feet to get a better look into the next room and saw a brewing stand hiding in the corner. So I used the brewing stand to make a potion of leaping, and because I was standing on the bed, I was able to jump into the next room because it was only a 1.5 block jump. In this room, I found a slime block in the corner, and in front of me there was a big lava pit that I couldn't get across. There were a couple of targets on the roof, but I didn't have any projectiles to hit them with. I saw a hidden hopper across from me, so I checked if there was one on my side, and sure enough there was. The hopper contained 2 arrows, and now I could use them to shoot the targets. The targets dropped 2 sand blocks into the lava, and I could use them to parkour across the lava. I made it to the other side and opened the hopper, finding an ender pearl. I went to the end of the hallway, and there was 2 ladders, and that was it. The only thing I could do here was pearl glitch, so I threw my pearl and I was teleported to another room. There was another slime ball in an item frame, so I took that, and in front of me there was an elevator to the next room. This room had lava falling from the roof, a single block of ice in the floor, 4 beehives with honey forming a staircase, and another part of the room higher up. I checked inside of the lava, and like usual there was a hopper hidden underneath with 4 string and 2 iron ingots. With 4 string and 4 beehives, I realized I could make candles to melt the ice. But I still needed honeycombs to craft candles, and all I had were beehives. But then I remembered I had 2 iron and I could make shears. Shears would allow me to collect the honeycombs from the beehives. So I made shears and collected the honeycombs. After that, I crafted 4 candles and placed them on top of the ice block. I waited for the ice to melt, but then I realized I still had to light the candles for that to happen. I had nothing in my inventory to light the candles, but there was still one part of the room I hadn't checked. I used F5 and I could see there was a hopper in this part of the room, but it was still too high up for me to reach. Luckily, I still had honeycombs left over and I could make 2 honeycomb blocks to complete the staircase. When I got up, I found another slime ball in an item frame, and I checked the hopper and I found an arrow. This might seem useless, but I can actually shoot the arrow through the lava to set it on fire and light the candles, so I lit the candles and waited, and eventually the ice melted. I swam down the water and I made it into a small cave-like room. I was trapped by a bedrock block above my head and I could see nothing except for a piston with a slime block on top and an observer beside it. This was until I noticed water particles coming from the ceiling. I crouched forward and ended up finding a deep slate block, so I broke it. Behind the block there was water and I could now swim out of the hole. There was a hole above the slime block, but it was too high up to reach. I went back to check the water and I found another slime ball in an item frame on the way. I swam up the water and there was a small hole with a hopper inside that had 2 nether wart and 2 nether bricks. I went back to the slime block and thought I was missing something, but I checked my inventory and saw that I could craft red nether bricks. I placed the red nether bricks in front of the observer and I was launched into the next room. I immediately saw a hopper in the floor and I checked it and found 2 moss blocks. In front of me there was a 4-block high wall with a fence at the bottom. 2 moss blocks was not enough to climb up the 4 blocks, and I couldn't jump on top of the fence because it's too high. So I turned the moss blocks into moss carpets and now I was able to climb up. The next part of the room had a taller wall I had to climb and a crafting table in the corner. I was also able to see a few pistons holding up water in the roof. I checked behind the crafting table, but there was nothing, so I placed it back down. I found a hole in the corner with water at the bottom, so I dropped down. Inside of the hole there was another room and I found a bunch of dead bushes and blocks of sand. So I broke it all and I was left with 8 sticks and 15 sand. I was about to build back up, but I noticed there was another part of this room that I could build up to. So I built up to the next part of the room and there was another item frame with a slime ball as well as a hopper that contained 2 steak and a stone block. There was nothing else up there though, so I went back to the bottom and built up to the main room. Luckily 15 sand was exactly enough to make it back up, and I went back to the crafting table and used the 8 sticks I got to make ladders. I used the ladders to make it up the wall to the top of the room. There was a hopper with a sign pointing at it, so I checked the hopper and it had an iron pickaxe in it. I took the pickaxe and broke the hopper to see if there was anything underneath. Underneath the hopper there was nothing, so now I was kind of confused until I remembered the pistons I saw earlier. The reason this was important was because I could make a lever to activate the pistons. But the problem was I didn't know where to place it, so I tried the obvious, which was under the sign with an arrow pointing down. To my surprise, it worked and water dropped down from the roof, so I climbed up the water and made it to another room. In the next room, there were some walls that I couldn't climb up and another piston with a slime block on top. I found another slime ball in the corner and that was it. I looked around and ended up finding a couple of wood buttons near the roof. I still had 1 arrow, so I decided to shoot the buttons to see what happened. It ended up activating the piston underneath me, and I was boosted to the next part of the room. In this part of the room, there was only a block of dirt, and I needed to make it up 4 blocks. I tried building up with the items I had, but it was impossible. That was until I remembered I can break the block underneath candles, and they stay floating. So I made a staircase out of the candles, and I climbed up the wall to another part of the room. In this part of the room, there were some leaves in the corner, and I had to cross a 2-block high gap to get to the next room. I could use the hopper I had from earlier, but I still had shears, so I decided to shear the leaves to build up instead. In the last part of the room there was a sign with arrows and a pit of snow. There was a 5-block jump to the exit and I was able to cross this with the hopper in my inventory. But I saw a block of powdered snow in the middle of the hole, so I decided to drop down in case there was something important. I broke the powdered snow and there was a hopper underneath it. The hopper had a diamond shovel inside of it and that was it. So I collected the snow and built back up and just built to the last part of the room. I found another slime ball in the corner and there was a hopper that I couldn't reach, but I was able to reach it when I crouched, and there was a levitation arrow in the hopper. I looked up and I saw a hole in the roof, so I shot myself with the levitation arrow and floated up to another room. In this room there was a hopper on the roof. I opened it and it had 12 sand in it. There was another slime ball in an item frame and a furnace and a crafting table at the end. I looked up and there was a big hole, but I only had 12 sand, so I wouldn't be able to get to the top. I knew I was missing something, so I tried breaking the hopper, but I found nothing. I broke the crafting table as well, and behind it there was a dried kelp block. This might seem useless, but a dried kelp block can actually be used to smelt all 12 of the sand blocks. So I turned all of the sand into glass, and now I was left with 12 glass blocks, which still isn't enough to get to the top, but I can actually turn those blocks into 32 glass panes. 32 glass panes looks like it is enough to get up the hole, so I tried building up and it was just enough to make it to the ladders. I was in a room full of lime wool and I tried to break out of it, but everything was covered in barriers. I looked down and there were 2 bedrock blocks that were positioned kind of like the ones from the room I did earlier. There was a sign that said, "I hope you have them all," and another slime ball and an item frame. I picked up the slime ball and now I had 9 slime balls and I knew what to do. I crafted a slime block, lined myself up, and jumped, placing the slime block underneath my feet. I made it to the exit and there was a big drop that I wouldn't survive. Luckily there was an elytra and a firework rocket on the walls, so I took those and I escaped the prison. This is a giant dragon egg, and inside of it is one of the hardest prisons, which I am going to be attempting to escape. I spawned inside of a small bedrock box, so like usual, I looked in F5. I saw a popped chorus fruit in an item frame that was out of my reach, and eventually I found a hopper on the floor. I jumped and I could barely see the hopper, so I opened it and there was an ender pearl inside. I used the ender pearl to escape the box and collected the popped chorus fruit from the item frame. I was in another bigger room with an entrance to another room that I needed at least 4 blocks to get up to. There was another hopper on the ground and I opened it and I got a water bottle and that was it. There was nothing else in this room, so I started breaking the hoppers to see if there was anything behind them. There was nothing behind the first one, but behind the second one there's a hole, and inside of that hole there was another hopper. I opened the hopper and there were 2 blaze rods, and now I knew how to make it up to the next room. I crafted 4 end rods using the popped chorus fruit and a blaze rod, and that was just enough blocks to make it up. In the next room, there's a bunch of quartz ore in the corner and a hole in the top corner leading to another room. There was also a hopper in the corner that had 1 coal and 1 gunpowder inside of it. I looked around and ended up finding a block of TNT hidden in the roof, but that was all I could find. I needed 3 blocks to get up to the room, but I only had 1, which was the TNT. I knew that I needed to do something with the quartz, but if I broke them with my fist, they wouldn't drop anything. That was when I realized I could use the TNT to blow them up, and I would have them drop the quartz. But the problem was I still needed something to light the TNT, and none of the items I have would do that. That was until I noticed I actually have enough materials to craft a fire charge. I just needed to turn the blaze rods into blaze powder, and then I was able to make 3 fire charges using the gunpowder and coal. So I lit the TNT and went behind the wall to make sure I didn't take any damage. Then I went back into the room and picked up 14 quartz, and now with these quartz I could make 3 quartz blocks, allowing me to build up to the next room. In the next room, I collected an item frame with a phantom membrane, and there was also a hopper with 5 nether wart. I saw there was a huge drop down to another room, but it was way too far to survive. I needed a way to get down, and I assumed I needed to make a slow falling potion with the items I had, but I was missing a brewing stand. So I went back and checked behind the hoppers in case I missed something, but there was nothing behind them. Now I was confused, so I took another look down the hole, and that was when I found a brewing stand hiding on the side. So I made an awkward potion and then added the phantom membrane to make a slow falling potion. Then I drank the potion and I glided down to the next room. In the next room, I walked over 2 pressure plates that actually took my potion effect away, and there was nothing in this room except for an oak log. But the oak log was all I needed to get to the next part though, so I made 4 oak planks and used them to build up. In the next part of this room, there's a huge pool of lava leading to an opening on the other side. There was also 2 dispensers really high up in the roof, and a hole with a crafting table and a pressure plate that I assumed I needed to activate. The problem was I had nothing to activate the pressure plate, so I checked in the crafting table for any crafts, but there was nothing of any use. There was nothing else in this room though, so I had to check other places. First I checked beyond the lava to see if anything was there, and I actually found a hopper with a warped fungus inside of it. This still wouldn't let me activate the pressure plate though, so I still had to be missing something. So I decided to check the previous part of the room because it was oddly empty. And when I did that, I ran into a floating piece of string, so I checked around and ended up finding 1 more, and now I knew what to do. I went back to the crafting table and I made a fishing rod. Now that I had a fishing rod, I could use it to activate the pressure plate, and when I activated the pressure plate, a strider came down from the roof as well as a saddle. So I placed the saddle on the strider and crafted a warped fungus on a stick to guide the strider to the other side of the lava. This next part was incredibly difficult and I probably needed jump boost to complete it. In the next room, there's a 1 block gap at the bottom of a wall that was blocking off another room. I also found a crafting table in one corner and a chest in the other. I went to open the chest, but I found that I couldn't open it because there was bedrock on top of it, so I broke it instead. The chest dropped 35 iron nuggets and that was it. So I went to the crafting table and checked what I could make, but none of the items would help me go under the wall. I needed one more iron nugget to make an iron trapdoor, but I didn't know where to get the last nugget. But that was when I realized there was actually another chest that I could open, and that chest had a piece of steak, an iron helmet, and a stone button in it. But none of these items would help me get under the wall, so I was still missing something. I looked around the room one more time, and I realized I could break the crafting table to see if anything was behind it. There was actually a furnace behind the crafting table, and now I knew what to do. I could smelt the iron helmet and get one more iron nugget. But now I needed something to smelt the helmet, and my only options were the chest and the crafting table since the steak would not be enough fuel. So I decided to use the chest because I would need the crafting table to make the iron ingot anyway. After it was done smelting, I grabbed the iron nugget and made the last iron ingot, and now I was able to craft an iron trapdoor. I placed the iron trapdoor with the button beside it, grabbed my crafting table, and crawled underneath to the next room. In the next room, there was an entrance to another room that was 3 blocks up, and it looked like it could be the exit because I could see the sky. So I looked around and found a chest with 5 nether wart in it, and that was it. So I picked up the 2 chests in this room, and I actually noticed that one of them was a trap chest. Now I had enough blocks to make it to the next room, but I decided to make a nether wart block with the 9 nether wart, and I used that instead of the trap chest because it will most likely be used in another room. Now I was in another room, and I thought I had escaped, but it turns out there was barrier blocks in the way, and I could not escape. There was a block of ice on the floor, and that was it, and it looked like there was a massive fall underneath, and I had to find a way to melt it. At first I thought this would be easy, and I used a fire charge to set the ice on fire, and waited, but that actually didn't work. So I needed another way to create a light source, and I was confused until I found the secret opening in the barrier blocks. In the secret opening, there was a chest, and inside of it there was 4 candles, so I placed the candles on top of the ice and lit them using my last fire charge. Eventually, the ice melted, and I made it down to a weird room where there was a crafting table in the middle with a sign above it that said "Third Sign." There was also a platform in the corner with a hole in the roof above it, and that was way out of my reach. Finally, there was a wall with paintings back where I entered from, so I first decided to check beyond the paintings, and I ended up finding a secret room. Inside of the secret room, there was a furnace, and it contained 3 raw copper, and I decided to use the 2 signs on the wall to smelt the copper. I went back and broke the sign that said "Third Sign," and I used that to cook the final piece of copper. Now that I had 3 raw copper, I was able to craft a lightning rod, and I used it to climb up to the platform. When I made it to the top of the platform, I checked the hole, and there was a hopper that contained a totem of undying. That was all that was left in the room though, so I decided to start checking behind things. I checked behind the paintings and I found nothing else, but when I broke the crafting table, there was a trail of redstone with a sign above it that said "Activate here." So I broke the trap chest and placed the chest under the sign, and then opened the chest to activate the redstone. The redstone ended up removing 2 of the bedrock blocks on the right wall, and there was another room with a massive drop to an end portal. The end portal was not finished though, so I still needed an Eye of the Ender to go to the end. So I looked around the room, and I found a hopper right above me that contained the eye. Now I was able to drop all the way down because of my totem, and I activated the portal to go to the end. When I made it to the end, I spawned on a platform with a huge structure above it, and I walked forward and had all my items removed by a command block. So I broke the pressure plate so that didn't happen again, and I walked to the end of the platform. There was flowing lava which probably led to the structure above, and I clicked behind it and found a glass bottle and a blaze rod. I also found a slime ball hidden at the end of the platform, and that gave me half the items to make a fire resistance potion. So I looked around some more, and eventually I found a hidden brewing stand and a sign that said subscribe, which reminds me that over 96% of you are still not subscribed, so if you are in that group, please subscribe. I opened the brewing stand and there was nether wart in it, so now I was just missing water to make a potion. I looked everywhere for water, and I thought I was missing something, but then I found the water source hidden off the edge of the platform. So I made a really risky jump and filled my water bottle and then went back to the brewing stand. I made a magma cream with the slime ball, and I made 1 fire resistance potion, and now I would be able to climb up the lava. So I drank the fire resistance and swam up the lava, and when I made it to the top, I was in another room which had 4 popped chorus fruits hidden in different areas. I used the chorus fruits to make 4 purple blocks, and I used those to climb up to the other part of the room. This room was a giant platform, and there were 2 observers in it, as well as 2 rooms on the side that I didn't have enough blocks to climb up to. So I decided to look around the edge, and I found a dropper which contained 1 piece of bedrock and an end crystal in it. I used the bedrock to finish a staircase to one of the rooms, and inside of this room there's a hopper with 2 different types of logs and an oak plank in it. There was also a space I had to crawl under. So I made a crafting table and crafted a boat and then used it to go under the wall. On the other side of the wall there was another hopper with a piston, a slime ball, and 4 honey blocks, and now I knew where this was going. Now that I had a few blocks, I used them to build up to the other side of the room, and inside of it there was a bunch of iron ore. I knew this iron ore was put there for a reason though, so instead of breaking it, I used the end crystal to break it so that raw iron would drop. The explosion revealed another room behind the iron, and this room had a furnace inside of it that contained 8 sticks, so I decided to smelt the 3 iron. 3 iron would be the perfect amount because it would leave me with enough sticks to make a pickaxe, and I could use the pickaxe to break the observers in the main room. The reason I would want to break the observers is because I have almost everything to make a flying machine, but the observers are one of the things I'm missing. So I smelted the iron, and while doing that, I noticed something weird. The iron was immediately disappearing after it smelted, so that meant there was a hopper behind it. So once I was done smelting, I broke the furnace, and sure enough there was a hopper which contained the last items I needed to make a flying machine. So I crafted my pistons into sticky pistons, made a pickaxe and broke the observers, and then I made a flying machine. After that, I activated the flying machine and flew to the end island. And on the end island there was a giant dragon egg, and inside of it was the exit to the overworld. So I went through the portal, and that was it. I had escaped the end prison in Minecraft. This is a giant furnace, and inside of it is a bedrock prison which I am going to try to escape. I spawned in a small room with a hopper and a furnace covered in amethyst buds. I broke the amethyst buds and I got 4 amethyst shards. There was an entrance to a room in the roof and another room beside me through a window. I used the ice to swim through the window into the other room, and I picked up 2 string and 2 tripwire hooks. I looked around and found a dropper with oak stairs and 2 honeycombs inside of it. I also noticed a hopper at the top of the room, so I built up, and inside of it was glowstone dust. I could see sand on top of the hopper, so I mined it and the sand fell down. I collected all the blocks in the room and went back to the main room. I was now able to climb through the hole in the roof, and through the hole I found a chest with a netherite axe and a blaze rod. I mined the chest and built up to this area with an iron door. There was another room above this, and I was able to jump and get a gold ingot from the furnace. There was also a brewing stand in this room, and I jumped and grabbed netherwort from it as well. At this point I didn't know how to get into that room, so I went back to the other room. I saw 2 different holes in the roof, so I decided to try to build into those. I crafted candles and an amethyst block, which just barely gives me enough blocks to make it to the first room. In this room there's a dispenser with jump boost pots, gunpowder, and a fermented spider eye inside it. I also could see another hole in the roof and a hole in the floor with a villager standing on a pressure plate. I used my blocks to build up to the other room, and I found a shulker box with 3 glass bottles in it. So I collected the shulker box and all my other blocks, and I headed back to the room with the iron door. I was considering breaking the iron door, but then I realized the chest I had was actually a trap chest, so I could use it to power the door. In this room there's a furnace, a melon, and a brewing stand, so I broke the melon and realized I probably had to make a harming potion to throw at the villager. I had no idea how to make a harming potion, but I guessed and I managed to get it. I ended up using the harming potion on the villager, and it didn't die, which I thought was a problem. I decided to restart the run because I thought I messed it up by only using 1 harming potion, but it turns out I only needed 1 anyway. Hitting the villager with the potion gave me a shulker box, and I used that shulker box plus the jump boost to climb up to the next room. In this room I found a chest with 2 cobwebs, 4 sticks, and 1 iron ingot. There was a target on the wall and a piece of redstone beside it. There was also another room on my right with water across from it and a hole that went pretty far down below me. I decided to just drop down, and I saw a little hole in the left as well as another drop even further down. I tried to jump into the hole, but I messed up and fell all the way down. I found a few note blocks in the wall, and when I clicked them a secret door opened. I found a feather on the wall, an empty dispenser, and a pumpkin on the roof. I broke the pumpkin and found there was another room above this one. I mined the note blocks and I found a few pistons behind them, so I mined those and also mined a piston and a pressure plate in the hole I missed the jump to. I used these blocks to build up through the hole in the pumpkin room and found 2 raw iron blocks leading to an entrance. I had no way to climb up these blocks, so I decided to head back to the main room. I climbed up to where the water was and realized I could place my cobwebs in it to make string. So I went back to where the target was and had a choice of crafting a fishing rod or a crossbow. Since I had no arrows, I chose the fishing rod, which ended up being a mistake. It turns out there was supposed to be flint in the chest in this part of the map, but it wasn't there. So I had to restart again and made my way back to the room. This time I had a slightly different strategy. I had used a few less blocks in the room before, giving me more blocks to work with. I also used the blocks to make the water flow all the way down so I didn't have to build back up to the main room. Once I was done that, I continued like before, but this time I made a crossbow instead. I shot the target and heard a dispenser in the other room, so I collected my stuff and went to find the dispenser. I found the dispenser in the pumpkin room and it contained shears. Next I built up through the hole in the roof back to the room with the raw iron blocks. I was able to build up to the entrance using the 3 blocks in my inventory and found 4 blocks of iron and a door. There was also a hole in the roof which went to another room. So I broke the door and went back out the room. I collected my blocks and used the door to build back up to the room so I could grab a sticky piston. I brought the sticky piston because I had a wooden pressure plate and I could use the piston to rearrange the iron blocks. So I rearranged the blocks into the shape of an iron golem, and then I left the room and grabbed my pumpkin and placed it on the head to spawn the iron golem. I killed the iron golem and it dropped 3 iron ingots, which I was now able to use to craft a bucket. So I crafted a bucket and then I ran back to the main room with the water and filled my bucket with water. I was now able to climb back into the golem room with the bucket, and then I climbed through the hole in the roof where there was a button which teleported me to a new room. I lost all of my items and I was in a room with a door and a dispenser. I broke the door and found an egg and a piece of string in the dispenser. I then used the door to climb up the wall to another room. This room had a piece of sand with a sea pickle on top of it and a floating fence gate. I rearranged these blocks so I could climb the next wall to another room. This time there was 2 dispensers, a hopper, a redstone comparator, and an iron trapdoor. The dispensers had a health pot and a stick in them, and I activated the comparator with the hopper, which activated the iron trapdoor so I could climb the next wall. In the next room there was a composter, a beehive, and a pumpkin. I noticed the beehive had honey in it, so I drank the health pot so I could collect the honey. I then broke the pumpkin and made pumpkin pie, which I used to make bone meal in the composter. The reason I made the bone meal was because there was a moss block over the next wall which could be used to make more moss blocks with the bone meal. I used 3 moss blocks to climb in a new room with a ton of stuff in it. There was a piston, a slime block, a hay bale, a comparator, and an observer. The next room was too high for me to reach, so I used the piston and slime block to make a launch pad powered by the observer. When I got up, I found a dispenser with 6 blaze rods and a slime block which I broke. There was also a target in the wall with an unlit redstone lamp above it. There was another room on the left, so I used my blocks to climb up. There was an iron door maze on the other side, and when I crossed it I found a hopper with a crafting table, a stick, and a piece of string. There was another room on the right, so I climbed up there and found another room with lava and a cobblestone wall. I checked the lava and there was nothing under it, so I went back to the main room and figured out how to craft more blocks. It turns out I didn't need the blocks though, and I was able to get over the wall by setting myself on fire and jumping. I made it over the wall and found a furnace with a popped chorus fruit inside of it, and I made end rods so I could climb another wall. Over the wall there was a big room with a brewing stand, a hopper, and a donkey behind some fences. I could also see a half-full cauldron, and when I dropped down I found 3 furnaces containing 4 popped chorus fruit, 9 kelp, and 2 raw iron. The donkey had a backpack with 1 stick and 1 string inside of it, and the hopper contained 1 nether wart. I saw a dispenser on the roof and I was unable to reach it, so I killed the donkey for its chest, but the dispenser was still out of my reach. I then used some weird recipes to craft 8 purple slabs, and I went back to the other room with the target. I crafted a fishing rod which I was able to use to hit the target, and when I hit it nothing happened in this room. So I went back to the other room and now there was lava falling from the roof. I had everything to make a fire resistance potion, so I used a few blocks to parkour to the brewing stand and made the potion. I drank it and I climbed the lava where I took the bucket and filled it with the lava from the dispenser. I then broke my blocks and used purple slabs instead since I could break the blocks I used before, and then I parkoured to the next room. There was a staircase which led down to a room with a 3-block high wall that had a strider on top of it. I used my saddle from earlier to climb onto the strider and I fell into another room. There was a furnace and 3 clay blocks in this room, but before I did anything I went back to kill the strider because it dropped string. Unfortunately I had to sacrifice a purple slab to get the items out of the hole, but I figured it would be worth it. At this point I realized I had a few seconds left on my fire resistance, so I collected the clay and climbed up using the lava. There was a hopper up here with another bucket inside it and a hole with an entrance to a room above it. I saw nothing in this hole, so I decided to just skip it and I made it to a different room where I got 2 tripwire hooks. There was another drop further down where I found a maze on my left and cobwebs on the right. I went through the maze where I found a hidden dropper with another bucket, 13 redstone, and a block of TNT. I also found another room which I had to build up to, but I decided to go back and use the TNT to break the cobwebs first because I could use the string to make more blocks. I built up to the iron door room and this part made 0 sense to me, so I did some crazy stuff which was definitely not from the tutorial, and I made it to the next room. In this room there was a hopper with 2 glowstone blocks and an egg, and then I used this hopper to build up to another room without losing too many blocks. Now I was in a room with a cow for some reason, and I decided to just craft wool and build out to the next room. This room was actually the final room, and I found a ladder which was the exit to this prison. This is a 1-block prison, and I am going to attempt to make it to the final island and escape. I spawned on top of a bedrock block with a carpet under my feet and a crafting table underneath it. I looked around and there was a bunch of islands surrounding me, and there was a bedrock block with a cobblestone wall closest to me. I grabbed the carpet and looked above me, and I found a composter. I grabbed the composter and used it as a block, and now I needed 1 more block to get to the cobblestone wall. I looked around some more and saw a chest on top of the bedrock block above me. So I tried opening the chest and I was barely able to open it. Inside of the chest there was 2 stacks of apples and that was it. 2 stacks of apples might seem useless, but in Minecraft you can actually right-click composters with food items and eventually you will get bone meal. So I spam-clicked all the apples and I had exactly 9 bone meal, which was enough to craft a bone block. I used the bone block to build up to the next platform, and now I could see there was a ladder on the other side. I used the carpet to get to the top of the cobblestone wall, but I was still missing a block to jump up to the next part. So I carefully broke the chest, and then I broke the carpet and placed the chest underneath me. Then I placed the ladder on the bedrock block and climbed up. I made the jump to another island, and now I needed 6 blocks to climb up to the next island. The problem was I only had 3 clay blocks, so I looked around, but all I found was a furnace and a crafting table on the edge of the island. So I broke the clay, and underneath it there was actually a dried kelp block and an item frame. If you didn't know, a dried kelp block is actually one of the best fuel sources. So I smelted the 12 clay to make 12 bricks. After that I made bricks, and I was confident that you got more than 1 brick block from 4 bricks, but I was wrong. So I still had 3 blocks, but luckily bricks can be made into slabs, and that gave me 6 slabs so I could climb up to the next island. On the next island there was a random sign, so I broke it. There was also an empty cauldron and some sort of lava thing above it that was covered in bedrock that led up to another island. I went further and found a staircase leading to another platform, and there was a hole in the ground, and I found a hopper that had 3 raw iron inside of it. There was also a bunch of droppers covering the rest of the island, so I searched them all and found a fire resistance potion. There was also a furnace blending in with the droppers, and there were 4 saplings inside of it, so I decided to use them to smelt the iron. The saplings only smelted 2 of the iron, so I used the sign to smelt the last piece. After the iron finished smelting, I went back up to the main platform and found a dropper that had dripstone in it. Now I had a good idea of what to do, so I went to place the dripstone above the cauldron, and I actually found another behind the cauldron, so I placed 2 of them above it. I was going to use the dripstone to fill the cauldron with lava, and after it filled, I could collect the lava and use my fire resistance to climb up to the next island. But I still needed to craft a bucket. I was about to drop down and use the crafting table from the previous island, but then I would have no way back up. So I looked around some more and ended up finding a crafting table at the end of the island. Now I was able to make a bucket, and I waited for the cauldron to fill with lava, and then I used my fire resistance to climb up to the top. So I made it up to the next island, and there was a mix of dirt and gravel on this island, as well as a wood plank which had 2 sticks on the sides. So I collected everything on the island, and that gave me 2 sticks, 1 wood plank, 8 gravel, 2 dirt, and 1 flint. I needed to build over the void to the next island, so the gravel would be useless to get across, and because of this I knew I was missing something. I opened my inventory and saw I could craft coarse dirt with 2 dirt and 2 gravel, so I made that, but now I only had 4 blocks. But if you remember from this video, you can actually duplicate coarse dirt if you have a shovel, and I had the materials required to make one. I just needed to find a crafting table, and like usual there was one on the side, so I crafted a shovel. Now I could right click the coarse dirt with the shovel, and I mined the dirt to get 4 regular dirt. I crafted more coarse dirt and did this one more time, and now I had 10 blocks that I could use. So I built to the next platform and made it with 1 block to spare. On this island there was a hole with a furnace in it and a 1 block hole with a bunch of rails inside of it. I couldn't get inside of this hole, so I needed to find something to get through. I dropped down into this gap and there was a crafting table as well as a piece of raw iron hidden inside of the hole. I ended up finding the rest of the iron in the other hole, so I smelted the iron with the wooden shovel, which made no sense. I don't know why I did this. I was only able to get 1 ingot out of it, so I used the lava bucket instead, which was much better fuel. After the iron finished smelting, I crafted a minecart and I used it to get through the hole. I almost suffocated because I thought the minecart would keep moving, and I got out and it put me on a tripwire which removed all my items and gave me permanent mining fatigue. Now I was unable to break blocks, so I collected the string from the tripwire and also picked up the stick I found on the wall. I walked out and there was an arrow and an item frame, and there was also 2 more sticks. I saw a target in the air and I assumed I needed to shoot it, but I still need a bow and I didn't have a crafting table. So I looked around a little more, and all I was able to find was a hopper on the side of the island that contained a fire charge. At first I thought this was useless, but then I realized I could actually use the fire charge to burn this wood plank I was trying to break. Once the plank burned, there was a hole underneath it, and inside of it there was a crafting table. So I crafted a bow and shot the target, and I thought nothing happened, but I turned around and a staircase appeared to another part of the island. So I climbed up the staircase and found a block of sand, and there was a platform that I couldn't get to because it was a 5-block jump. There was another area at the top of the staircase with a cow and a creeper trapped inside of boxes, and there was also a sign that said press this with a smiley face and a button underneath it. I looked around the room a bit more because I did not trust the smiley face at all, but all there was a platform above me that I couldn't reach. So I pressed the scary button and the creeper started floating. At first this made no sense, but I realized that when I pressed the button, the creeper was given levitation. The reason this was important was because I could make the creeper blow up and it would drop a lingering levitation potion effect which I could use to go to the platform above me. So I walked up to the creeper and found out it was actually named subscribe, so please subscribe because the creeper literally died for this. Once it exploded, I was given levitation and I flew up to the platform and noticed that I had levitation for way longer than I needed. Luckily there was water on the island, so I positioned myself and landed inside of it. At the end of the island there was a hopper with 2 iron ingots and 1 raw iron, and that was literally it. So I dropped back down to the top part of the island and barely survived with 2 hearts. I ended up finding a hopper with steak in it though, so I was able to heal back up a little bit. Now that I had enough iron to make a bucket, I ran back to the island that had a minecart, and surprisingly the furnace was still cooking, so I used it to smelt the iron. Now I was able to run back and craft a bucket, which I used to milk the cow to remove my mining fatigue. I broke the sand at the bottom of the staircase and I used it to make the 5-block jump to the other island. On this island there was lava flowing from the sky, nether wart and magma cream inside of item frames, and a cauldron that had a little bit of water left inside of it. There was also 3 slabs on the ground, so I broke them to check what was underneath. Under the middle slab I found a hopper which contained a silk touch hoe, and that was it. I also broke the slab behind the cauldron and found there was a brewing stand under it. It was obvious that I needed to get a fire resistance potion, but I was still missing a water bottle. I realized there was nothing else on this platform, but then I remembered something. There was actually 4 glass on top of the cage that had a cow inside of it on the previous island. So I jumped back to the other island and used the silk touch hoe to collect the glass and free the cow. Now I had 4 pieces of glass, so I was able to use one of them to build back to the island, and I used the other 3 to make glass bottles. Next I grabbed the water out of the cauldron and I made 1 3-minute fire resistance potion. I drank the fire resistance potion and swam down the lava fall, and I made it to another room. In this room there was obsidian in the form of a large nether portal with 1 missing block which had water flowing behind it. So I used my empty bucket to grab some of the lava which was all over the floor, and I used it to complete the portal. Now that the portal was complete, I still needed to light the portal. I had nothing in my inventory to light the portal, so I figured I missed something and began looking behind the lava. With time running out for my fire resistance, I was able to find 8 string hidden in the lava. At first this seemed useless, but I realized I could make the string into wool blocks. The wool blocks could then catch on fire and light the portal if I got lucky. So I placed down the 2 blocks of wool, and luckily they lit the portal, and now I was able to enter the nether. When I entered the nether I was free, and I had escaped the prison. My friend trapped me on a cloud in Minecraft, and the only way to escape is by completing a puzzle, but the problem is I only have 30 minutes to escape. So I logged on and I spawned in a large bedrock room with an open roof, and it was raining inside. I looked up and I could see a chest with a sign underneath it and lava that flowed all the way down to the bottom of the room. There was also an item frame with nether wart and another item frame with a slime ball in it, so I collected those. I found an entrance to another room on the top left, but it was too high for me to reach, so I was stuck. I decided to spam right click in the lava, but I wasn't able to find anything behind it. I did the thing, and I could see another room behind the lava, but there was nothing to extinguish myself on the other side. But since it was raining, I would immediately get extinguished by the rain on the other side, so I swam through the lava and I survived on 5 hearts. I was in another really tall room, and it was connected to another room that was 2 blocks high. There was a crafting table in the middle of the room, so I picked it up and there was a hopper behind it. The hopper contained 2 blaze powder and 2 glass bottles. I looked around the room for anything else, but it seemed pretty empty. So I placed my crafting table in front of the entrance to the other room, which allowed me to walk in. I was in an empty bedrock room, and at the end of it, there was a huge drop to the ground and a bedrock island with a furnace on it across from me. There were barriers on each side of me, so I wasn't able to jump to the cloud. When I crouched to the edge of the bedrock, I could see a hole, and when I looked in F5, I was able to see the entrance to another room and a hopper. The problem was I didn't know how to get into this room without falling and dying. But that was when I noticed something strange. In front of me there was a massive drop to the ground, but for some reason I could see rain particles. The only reason I would be able to see rain particles is if there was a barrier block down there. So I threw an item frame down to test it, and sure enough there were barriers that would stop me from dying. So I dropped down and checked the hopper. The hopper contained a full set of iron armor, and that was it. I had no idea why I would need iron armor, so I kept looking for something else. I tried to go to the furnace island, but the barriers stopped at a certain point, and it was too far for me to jump. So I walked over to the other room, and inside of it there was a 1-block hole with a trail of redstone and nothing to activate it. I tried to see if anything else was in the hole, but I couldn't see anything. I checked the roof and there was another hopper, and this hopper had 5 iron ingots and 3 ladders inside of it. I walked around the rest of the room and found nothing else, so I decided to use the ladders to go back up to the main room. When I got back up to the main room, I checked if I could craft anything, but nothing really stood out to me, so I kept looking. I used the last ladder I had to get up this incomplete staircase, and there was another room across from me. I walked into the room and saw nothing except for a hopper, and I checked it and it had 3 stone blocks and 14 iron nuggets. Now that I had 3 stone blocks, I would be able to get to the furnace island because I could turn them into 6 slabs. So I crafted 6 stone slabs and dropped back down. I bridged across with the slabs and I made it to the furnace island. I checked the furnace and it was empty and I could see nothing else on this island. I looked around because I figured I had to be missing something, and I ended up finding a hopper on the bottom of the island. I opened the hopper and there was 9 dried kelp inside, but I didn't know how that would help me. I took a look at everything in my inventory and noticed that I almost had everything to make a fire resistance potion. I was just missing a water and a brewing stand. I was nowhere near being able to craft a brewing stand though, so I still had to be missing something. I went back to the main room and realized I hadn't checked behind any of the hoppers. So I broke the first hopper and there was nothing behind it. But when I broke the next hopper, I found a brewing stand behind it, so now the only thing I was missing was water. I thought I was missing something because it seemed impossible to get water, but then I realized something. I can actually smelt the set of iron armor into iron nuggets, and this would give me 18 nuggets which I could turn into 2 more iron ingots. With 2 more iron ingots, I could craft a cauldron, and because it was raining, it would fill with water. But I still needed something to smelt the armor with. I checked to see if anything in my inventory could be used to smelt, but nothing worked. But while doing that, I realized that I had 9 dried kelp which I could craft into a dried kelp block. A dried kelp block is actually one of the best sources of fuel for a furnace, and could be used to smelt all the armor easily. So I made a dried kelp block and headed back to the furnace where I smelted all of the armor pieces. After I was done smelting, I headed back to my crafting table and made the nuggets into ingots, then crafted a cauldron. I placed the cauldron down and waited for it to fill with rainwater. While I was waiting for it to fill, I looked inside of it and noticed that over 97% of you are still not subscribed, and that is way too many of you, so please subscribe. Eventually the cauldron filled enough for me to fill the glass bottles, so I filled the bottles and now I had 2 water bottles. I headed back to the brewing stand and placed my blaze powder to charge it. Then I put the 2 water bottles in with the nether wart to make awkward potions. And then I added the magma cream to make 2 3-minute fire resistance potions. Now I would be able to get the chest that I saw in the first room by swimming up the lava. So I drank a potion of fire resistance and swam up to the top of the lava. When I got to the top, I opened the chest and it had 2 stone blocks and 9 wheat inside of it. I also tried breaking the chest for an extra block, but it was too hard, so I gave up. I headed back down and then I decided to swim to the bottom of the lava to see if there was anything there as well. When I made it to the bottom of the lava, there was another room with no walls and nothing inside of it. I was now closer to the ground and could see that there was plains below me, but there was nothing to drop down into. I tried breaking the cloud around me, but it was covered in barriers, so I couldn't get any blocks from there either. It seemed like there was nothing in this room, but then I looked around on the sides and I found a room that I couldn't get to. So I placed my 2 stone blocks to get to this room and made sure I could make the jumps without sprint. I made it to the room and there was nothing except for a hopper in the roof which contained 1 snowball. I checked beyond the hopper and there was nothing, so I went back to the main part of the room. I looked in F5 on the other side of the room and I found a hopper hidden below the floor. This hopper had 4 redstone dust in it, and that was the last thing I found in this room. So I drank my other fire resistance and swam back up the lava. I went back to the room with the redstone in it because I had an idea. I had the items necessary to craft a target in my inventory, along with a snowball that I could use to activate the redstone. So I crafted a hay bale and surrounded it in 4 redstone to make a target. I placed the target in front of the redstone, and then I threw the snowball at the target. Nothing happened inside of this room, so after I did this, I went back up to check the other rooms. When I got back to the main room, there was now water flowing from the ceiling, so I made my way to the top. When I made it to the top, I found a hole where the water came from with a piston in it. There was also an item frame with a piece of steak, so I grabbed it and ate it. There was also a 4-block wall which looked like I needed to climb it. So I looked on the other side of it and I could see there was more of the room on the other side of the wall. I needed 3 blocks to climb up, but all I had was my crafting table which I left behind in the previous room. So that left me with 2 blocks that I still needed to get. I realized I could break the piston, so I broke the piston and it started flowing towards me in the water. I picked up the piston and that was another block, so I only needed 1 more. So I placed the piston down and dropped down to get my crafting table. But when I dropped down, I realized I had this ladder that I used to get to another room, so I broke the ladder and went back to get my crafting table. Now that I had the ladder, I didn't even need to use my crafting table to climb the wall. So I placed the ladder and I climbed to the other side. On the other side, there was a staircase to get back up and a hopper. So I dropped down and opened the hopper. Inside of the hopper, there's a wet sponge, and that was it. I didn't really know why I would need a wet sponge, so I figured there was still something missing. I thought maybe it was some crazy craft I've never heard of, so I checked the crafting table, but there was nothing I could craft. So I looked everywhere for anything else I was missing, but then I realized I forgot to break the hopper to see if anything was behind it. So I broke the hopper, and there was a deep slate slab behind it, and when I looked closer, I ended up finding a second hopper which contained 27 iron nuggets. It was now obvious what I needed to do with the sponge. So I crafted my nuggets into 3 iron ingots, and then I made a bucket. The reason I made a bucket was because I could cook the wet sponge in the furnace and collect the water by placing the bucket in the bottom slot of the furnace. So I headed back to the furnace and placed the wet sponge in the top slot and my crafting table in the bottom slot. I then placed my bucket in the bottom slot and waited for the sponge to finish cooking. Once the sponge was done cooking, I had a dry sponge and a water bucket, and now I could make it to the ground safely by placing water off the side of the island. But that was the boring way, so I jumped off and I made the MLG instead, and that was it. I had successfully escaped a cloud in Minecraft. This is one of the hardest prisons in Minecraft, and I will be attempting to escape it, starting now. The second I spawned in, I looked around. I was in a bedrock box stuck behind iron bars. There was another room, so I broke the iron bars and walked into the other room. In this room, there was a chest out of my reach, a lava fall, a crafting table, and a hole which I assumed was where I needed to go. First, I checked behind the lava and I found a chest. The chest had 3 blackstone and a blaze powder in it. I knew I could craft blackstone slabs, but I decided to check the rest of the room first. While searching, I found a barrier block in the middle of the room. I looked around and I ended up finding more, and I realized I could parkour on them. After jumping to the first block, there was no more blocks to jump to. From here, I could use the blackstone and make it to the chest, but I decided not to because I had blaze powder, which hints to me having to make a brewing stand. It ended up not mattering though, because I tried jumping towards the chest and I was able to open it for a second. This gave me everything I needed to make a fire resistance potion. I drank the potion and started to climb up the lava. At the top of the lava there was another chest and it gave me an ender pearl. The only thing I could think of using an ender pearl for was to enter the tunnel, so I grabbed the crafting table in case I needed it later and threw the pearl into the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel there were 2 different directions I could go, each leading to a different room. The first room had nothing in it except for a hole in the roof that was out of my reach. The second room had a floor made of ice that looked like it had something underneath it. I decided to drop into the second room because it seemed more promising. Under the ice I could see lava and magma blocks really far down. I knew I couldn't lift this fall, so I needed a way to get down. The obvious way down was the ice, but if I break the ice nothing is going to happen because there isn't a block underneath it. Luckily, I picked up the crafting table from earlier, and I was able to use that to get water. I swam down the water and ended up in another room. This room was decorated with terracotta on the walls and lava and magma blocks on the floor. Unfortunately, there were barrier blocks preventing me from breaking out. Because of this, I assumed there had to be a missing barrier somewhere. After checking most of the room, I finally found one that was missing, and under it there was a chest with 3 ladders, a trapdoor, and flint. I realized there was nothing else in this room, but I remembered the room on the left of the tunnel had a hole in the roof, and I was pretty sure 3 ladders would allow me to reach it. So I decided to climb back up the water and use the crafting table and trapdoor to get back into the tunnel. I dropped into the other room, and luckily 3 ladders was enough to get through the hole. When I made it to the top, I had entered a hallway with a bunch of different things. There was an armor stand with a sword and a cobweb on top, obsidian in the shape of a nether portal, and a hole in the roof that I had no way of accessing. When I got further down the hallway, I found another room with a giant pit of lava. There was a room on the left, a pig across from me, and a big hole in the wall exactly on the other side, and more cobwebs. I grabbed the sword from the armor stand and broke the cobwebs, making sure none of them fell in the lava. I checked my crafts, and the only thing I could make was a block of wool, so I did that. I used the block of wool to parkour to the room on the side and found a chest with a carrot and a saddle. I was very familiar with what I could do with these items because of this video, and I used the carrot to lure the pig towards me. Once it walked over, I jumped and landed the pig clutch. Now I was on the other side, but all I had was a crafting table and I still couldn't get to the next room because it was 2 blocks up. While trying to figure out what to do, I found a secret chest above the hole and it had 3 sticks. I went back over to the crafting table and made the only thing it let me make, a fishing rod. Even with a fishing rod, I still didn't know what to do. The only thing I could think of was fishing in the lava. But fishing the lava turned out to be a waste of time, and now I was stumped. I decided to check the hole again, but this time I checked in F5. I was hoping I would find another chest, but instead I saw a horse all the way at the bottom. If you didn't know, you can use fishing rods to pull mobs towards you. So now I knew how to get down, but I still had to be careful that I didn't die of fall damage getting off the horse. So I brought the horse up, and luckily, I was able to survive the fall, and I made it to the next room. This next room had 2 hoppers on both sides of me and a random button on the wall. Pressing the button did nothing, so I decided to open the hoppers. The first one had an emerald with a sign above it that said you might need this later. And the other hopper had steak, a golden apple, a blast protection 4 chestplate, and a TNT. Now that I had all these items, I still needed to find a way to make a 3-block jump. If you've played Bed Wars before, you might be familiar with the TNT jump, where a TNT explosion is used to boost a player. So, I used the button to activate my TNT and jumped over the wall. In this part of the room there were 3 new things: a hole in the roof, a dispenser, and some sort of hot tub. There were signs between the water and the lava, but if anything was under the lava, it was too far to reach. The items in my inventory weren't of much use either. At this point, I was stumped until I found this terracotta on the roof. The terracotta was the same dimensions as the hot tub, and all but one of the blocks were red. This must be some sort of indicator to where I need to look in the lava. The only problem was the lava was still too far down to reach anything. This part seemed impossible until I realized I was missing something. I thought all of the items in my inventory were useless, but it turns out I actually had one useful item. If there was a button or pressure plate under this lava, I could actually use the fishing rod to activate it. So I tried casting my fishing rod, and sure enough, I heard a noise. The fishing rod had activated the dispenser, and a shulker was spawned. I let the shulker hit me with levitation, and I was carried to the next room. I walked down this long hallway, and I thought about the fact that over 99% of you are not subscribed. The next room contained a bunch of holes in the wall. Each hole had a hopper in it with the exception of the top left, which had a boat. I also looked in F5 and found one of the holes had a crafting table. It was safe to say I needed to craft something in this room, so I dropped down. When I dropped down, I checked each hopper and they all contained 2 bamboo. I then made my way to the crafting table and checked the crafts. The only thing that you can make with bamboo is sticks, so I turned them all into sticks. After that, it was obvious that I had to make ladders. I used the ladders to climb up to where I saw the boat earlier and clicked the boat. I picked up the boat and found a chest in front of me. The chest had an iron ingot and that was it. I climbed up the staircase and I was back in the room I saw earlier. The only difference now is that I had both flint and an iron ingot, which means I could enter the nether. So I dropped down, lit the portal, and traveled to the nether. The portal brought me to a room full of barriers with a nether-themed wall pattern behind it. There was also a beacon and some slabs that made a staircase to the top. I wouldn't be able to jump on these half slabs, so I needed to find a way to get up. Inside of this room there was a beacon, which meant I could get jump boost if I had an ore. I remembered I still had the emerald that I was supposed to keep for later. So I used the emerald to get jump boost and I climbed up the stairs. But you probably realized there was another way out. Instead, I could use the boat to climb up the half slabs. But I don't think this was intended, so I used the jump boost instead. At the top of the room there was a big bedrock path leading to the exit of this prison. I went through the portal, and that was it. I'd successfully escaped the prison. This is a giant Minecraft Christmas present, and inside of it is one of the hardest prisons which I am going to be attempting to escape. I spawned inside of a bedrock box, so I began by looking around me. I found a couple signs stating the rules: no breaking signs, and no breaking presents. In front of me there was a long hallway with an entrance to another room at the end. There was also an ice floor right outside of the box. I saw no way to escape, so I decided to look in F5, and that's when I found an item frame with a boat in it. I crouched to the very edge of the bedrock, and I hit the item frame to drop the boat. I then used the boat to escape and made it across the ice. On this side of the room, there's a pool of lava blocking me from the next room. The lava was 5 blocks across, so I wouldn't be able to make the jump. You've all probably seen this a million times, so I'm just gonna move on to the next room. The next room was 3 blocks high, so if I dropped down, I wasn't coming back up. There were 2 blocks of snow in front of me, as well as a target and an upside down zombie. I was about to drop down, but I remembered seeing 3 snow blocks on the floor, so I checked those first. Underneath the third one, I found a present, and inside of it was a carved pumpkin. I now decided to drop down because I had a block to get back up if I needed to. Now I was able to see that there was a hole in the roof and lava in the wall. I used F5 and found there was something behind the lava, so I knew that was where I needed to go. I realized I probably needed to hit the target, but I did not need a projectile. Or at least that's what I thought. I could actually place the pumpkin on top of the snow blocks to make a snow golem. The snow golem would then start to shoot at the zombie, and eventually it will miss and hit the target. So I created the golem and waited for it to hit the target. The target ended up activating a dispenser, and it dropped a suspicious stew. Even though I had no way of knowing, it was safe to say the stew would give me fire resistance, considering there was nothing left in this room. So I ate the stew and swam through the lava to the next room. The next room had a floor covered in powdered snow that led to another room. The problem was, if I touched the snow, I would get stuck and freeze, and the snow was too deep to break. Fortunately, there was another room on my left, so I decided to check that out. Inside of this room, there were tons of presents, so I began unwrapping them. I ended up finding 4 pieces of leather total, and now I knew what to do. I needed to make leather boots because you are actually able to walk across powdered snow without sinking if you are wearing leather boots. But the problem was, I didn't have a crafting table. So I looked around and I ended up finding this little hole that had a sign that read, "Looking for a crafting table? Better hope it didn't burn." I now knew that the crafting table was most likely in the lava, so I went back and checked. Sure enough, I found it behind the lava and I made my leather boots. The next room had 3 parts: an ice parkour leading to a present, a 1-block hole in the wall which looked like it went to the next room, and a sheep that was hanging from the roof. I decided to start with the ice parkour because it was the most straightforward part. When I got to the end, I opened the present and it had a book and a crafting table. I opened the book and it said, "You're getting colder," so I went back to the main room. Next, I checked the hole in the wall and ended up finding a hidden present. The present contained 8 string, and now with the sheep on the roof, I was pretty sure I needed wool. So I made the string into wool, built up, and started punching the sheep. After that, I had 3 wool, but the only thing I could make was carpets. Carpets wouldn't be of much use to get me through this hole, so I had to be missing something. At this point, I was stumped, but then I remembered I was missing something. I was able to break the powdered snow from earlier, so something could be hiding under it. It didn't take very long until I found another present, this time containing 3 wood planks. Now, I was able to make a bed, which I could use to get through the hole. So I picked up my crafting table and placed the bed inside the next room. There were a few obstacles that I needed to use my blocks to get past, and I made it to a snow globe room. This room was completely covered in barriers, so I couldn't break out, and there was a bedrock house as well as a ton of snow and ice on the floor. I also found a crafting table on the roof and a sign inside of the house that said "Start digging." So I started digging in the house and I found a present. The present contained 5 turtle scoot, and I was pretty sure I needed to make a turtle shell, but I didn't know why. So I parkoured on these floating snow blocks to get to the crafting table on the roof. When I made it to the roof, there was another present with nether wart, a water bottle, and blaze powder. So I made the turtle shell, and now I was pretty sure I needed to make a potion, but I didn't have a brewing stand. So I looked around some more and found a massive hole that I would die from if I fell in it, and I was sure that that was the exit. That was it though, so I did the last thing I could do, and started digging up the floor. When digging the floor, I actually found that over 99% of you are not subscribed, and that is embarrassing, so please subscribe. Eventually I saw particles coming out of one of the blocks, and I realized that they were coming from the brewing stand. So I made my awkward potion, and then I made the potion of the Turtle Master. The potion of the Turtle Master would give me resistance, and that would allow me to fall down the hole without dying. So I drank the potion, and I dropped down the hole into the next room. The next room was an ice cave, and there was a present in the corner. The present had 3 steak in it, so I was able to get my health back. Other than the present, I could see nothing else in this room. I was about to start breaking the blocks again when I noticed something different about a few of the blocks. These blocks were powdered snow, which meant I could walk through them. The ones in the middle were too high up, so I decided to walk through the ones on the right. I ended up immediately falling into a room with a crafting table and a furnace. At the bottom of the room, there was a water pool with kelp in it. So I collected the kelp, but I didn't really know what to make with it. I decided to use the crafting table to get back into the other room to see if I missed anything. But then I realized that I could smelt the kelp to make a dried kelp block. This block would help me get to the powdered snow that was 2 blocks high. So I smelted all the kelp, made the block, and walked up into the next room. The next room was full of presents, and there was 1 block of ice with lava underneath it. I knew I needed something to melt this ice, so I checked all of the presents. When I got to this present, something weird happened, and items started dropping from the sky. There was actually a dispenser in the roof, and whenever I opened the present, it would drop items. Eventually, the dispenser ran out of items, and I had 7 item frames, a shovel, and a torch. So I went back to the ice and used the torch to melt it. I swam down the ice, and I was in a large room with a candy cane and 2 snow golems on each side of it. I walked into the candy cane and saw a massive hole which looked like it went to the surface. I had no blocks to build up, but luckily I had this diamond shovel from the previous room, and I could use it to break the snow underneath the golems to make snow blocks. When I had enough snow, I built up in the candy cane and I made it to the surface, successfully escaping the prison. This is a giant magma cube, and inside of it is one of the hardest prisons which I am going to be attempting to escape. I spawned in a large bedrock room with lava underneath me. I could see another room across from me, but it was too far for me to reach. So I looked around for items and ended up finding 2 pieces of string, and when I looked up, I found a dropper, a floating anvil, and a hole with TNT in it. I decided to break the string that was holding up the anvil, and the anvil fell down, so I was able to use it to reach the dropper that was beside it. Inside of the dropper, there was a blast protection 4 diamond chestplate and a golden apple. I looked around some more, and I ended up finding a dropper underneath the platform I was on. The dropper contained 3 sticks, a flame book, and an arrow. Now I had the materials to craft a flame bow, but I didn't have a crafting table. So I looked around and ended up finding a crafting table behind the dropper. I crafted the bow and applied flame to it using the anvil since I conveniently had 69 levels. Now I had a golden apple, a flame bow, and an arrow to help me get across. These items might not be able to get me across on their own, but there was still a block of TNT in the roof. If I shoot the TNT with the flame bow, it will light and the TNT will fall down and I can use it to TNT jump. So I ate the golden apple and dropped the TNT down in front of me. I was barely able to survive, and if I hadn't eaten the golden apple and had the blast prot chestplate, it would have been over. So I healed back up and examined the next room. I was on a basalt island with a room across from me that was 1 block too far to jump. There was also a massive fall beneath me that I had no way of surviving. So I went back into the hallway and collected the weeping vines coming from the roof, and I also found 2 more pieces of string beneath them. You might have noticed that the weeping vines were placed on the roof, which means I could use them to get to the next room. The problem was I didn't have enough of them to get across. I could have waited for them to grow, but I decided to look around since I hadn't finished exploring this room yet. I ended up seeing a dropper underneath the basalt, so I broke down and the dropper contained 2 more weeping vines. Now I had enough vines to make it across, so I placed the weeping vines on the roof and I jumped to the next room. In the next room, there was a dropper in one corner, a crafting table in the other, a floating block, and a hole in the roof and on the wall. I checked to see what was in the dropper and I found 4 prismarine shards and 4 pieces of bamboo. I immediately realized I could craft a prismarine block, and I used it to get a better look at the floating block and the hole in the wall. There was a gold pressure plate at the back of the hole, and there was an item frame with a stick on top of the floating block. Now that I had this stick, I turned the bamboo into sticks and I crafted a fishing rod. I used the fishing rod to fish the pressure plate inside of the hole, and when I did that, a potion of levitation dropped from the hole in the roof. I grabbed my crafting table and checked the rest of the room one more time, and since the hole in the roof was the only place that I hadn't been, I used the potion to go up the hole. There was a dropper on the way up, but I checked it and it was completely empty. In this room there was a lava pool on the floor with flowing lava 1 block higher in the middle. I could also see a boat on the other side of the lava, and that was it. I realized I could use my crafting table to cross this lava, but I decided to check the lava first because it made no sense for the lava to be here. I ended up finding a dropper with a blue ice block in it, so I decided the crafting table would be more useful, and I used the blue ice to cross the lava. I made a mistake and didn't realize I wouldn't be able to jump because the roof was 2 blocks high and I almost died in the lava. I waited for my health to regen and I looked around. The only thing I was able to see was the boat and a 1 block high gap leading to another room. So I used the fishing rod to fish the boat towards me and used the boat to go under the gap. In the next room, there was a donkey, a chest in the wall, a platform with a hole above it, and an exit at the top of the room. I moved towards the crafting table, and there was also a chest in front of it. The chest contained 9 bone meal, 9 netherwort, and 9 wheat. I immediately knew what to do with these blocks, and I crafted a bone block, a netherwort block, and a hay bale. Next, I used those blocks to staircase up to the platform, and when I thought I would make it, I was actually 1 block short. I tried breaking the chest and fishing it towards me, but that didn't work. But that was when I noticed something. There was a donkey in the room and its name was Joe. The name was irrelevant, and what I noticed was that the donkey was carrying a chest. So I did what had to be done and I used the fishing rod to pull the chest towards me, and the donkey also dropped a saddle. Now I was able to use the chest as the final block to go up the platform. First I checked the hole above the platform and I found a fire resistance arrow and an item frame. Next I checked the exit hole and I saw a block of snow holding up a block of sand. But this was not a normal block of snow, it was actually powdered snow. This meant that if I shot it with my flame bow, the flame arrow would melt the snow and the sand would come falling down. So since it was my only option, I used the normal arrow I had from the first room to break the powdered snow. When the sand fell down, lava followed it, and now I knew where to go. So I shot myself with the fire resistance arrow and I climbed up the lava to the next room. I was in a box with a 1 block gap, and through the gap I could see 2 striders and 2 droppers. I was unable to reach one of the droppers, but I could reach the other one and I found 4 magma cream inside of it, and that was it. At this point I saw nothing else in the room, so I quickly went back down the lava to see if I missed anything. I broke the sand and there was nothing under the lava, so at this point I had to swim back up because my fire resistance was running out. There was nothing else in this room, and I had no items to go through a 1-block gap, so I was stuck. But then I realized what I could do with the saddle, and it all made sense. If I place the saddle on one of the striders, I can then ride the strider and teleport through the gap. So I did that, and I found out both of the striders were also named Joe. Why is everyone named Joe? Anyways, I checked the other dropper I couldn't reach, and there was more magma cream, so now I had 12 magma cream. The only thing I could make was magma blocks, so I crafted 3 of them. I still needed 4 blocks to get to the top of the room though, so I was still missing something. Unfortunately, I realized I would have to kill Joe because striders drop string and 4 string crafts into wool. So I got 4 string from Joe, and there's no reason to kill Joe too, so I definitely didn't. I used the 4 blocks to build up, and the first thing I saw was a pearl glitch setup. So I turned around and there was a dropper with a pearl inside of it, so I threw my pearl and ended up on the nether roof. There was a chest up here, and it had 13 obsidian, a piece of wool, and a ghast spawn egg inside of it. So I placed my obsidian in the form of a portal, and I spawned the ghast. The ghast ended up lighting the portal for me, and I went back through to the overworld. When I made it to the other side, I could see an exit waiting for me across these lava pools. There was a bunch of gravel and sand laying around, so I broke it all, and it revealed a crafting table. There was also water in the ground and a dropper in the wall, and it contained a stone pickaxe and a piece of bone meal. I needed blocks that weren't gravity blocks to get across, so I made concrete because I already had water to turn it into hardened concrete, and I had a pickaxe as well. I grabbed the crafting table and bridged across using the 8 concrete, and there was one more lava pool that I needed to cross. I already had 2 blocks I could use to get across, so I just placed them so I could jump across. Before I left, I checked this chest in the wall and found a punch 2 book and a stack of arrows. I wonder what that could have been used for. Next, I jumped across the lava and got in this boat placed on the outside to escape the prison. My friend built me a prison and challenged me to break out of it, but the problem was this prison seemed impossible to escape. On the inside, all of the rooms are layered with bedrock, making it impossible to break out of. The only way to escape is making it past all of the puzzles to get to the exit. Will I be able to do it? Let's find out. I started by looking around the room I was in. I was stuck in a bedrock cage surrounded by a bunch of furnaces. I decided to look in F5 mode, and I saw a chest above me that was completely out of my reach. I decided to check all of the furnaces to see if they had any useful items. After checking all the furnaces, I was left with 1 oak plank, 4 raw iron, and 4 daylight sensors. I decided that the only thing left to do was to smelt the raw iron with the daylight sensors. Once the iron had smelted, I was left with 4 ingots, 1 daylight sensor, and an oak plank. I thought for a second and realized that I could use these ingots to make an iron trapdoor. I could then use the oak plank to make a button to activate the trapdoor. I then used the trapdoor to crawl underneath the bedrock. Once I escaped the bedrock cage, I looked around the room and I saw an exit in the top corner. I checked the chest for anything useful and I found a potion of levitation. I then checked all the furnaces one more time and I used the levitation potion to climb up to the next room. When I reached the top, I found a skeleton in a cage in another room which had a hole in the ground. I walked past the skeleton and dropped down into the next room. I found a few holes in the roof, one of which that had a chest that I could not reach. The other hole had a dispenser and a target that I also couldn't reach. On the other side of the room, there was a block of wool in the roof. I broke the wool and walked over to the chest. I placed down the wool and jumped on top of it to open the chest. Inside of the chest, there was a bow that was on very low durability. I knew that I had to use this bow to hit the target, but I did not have any arrows to do so. I looked around to see if I had missed anything, but then I realized that there was a skeleton at the entrance. I used my wool to block back up and angled myself so I could kill the skeleton without it hitting me. The skeleton dropped arrows, but I was unable to pick them up from where I was standing. I decided to use the daylight sensor to push the arrows towards me, and it worked. Now I could go back to the target and shoot it to activate the dispenser. After shooting the target, my bow broke and the dispenser dropped me a boat. Finally, I checked the room one more time and used the boat to take me to the next room. I picked up my boat and looked around the next room. There was a big hole leading to the void in front of me with nothing to walk over. I looked around and I saw a double chest that I couldn't reach. I also saw a furnace that was empty and a crafting table inside of the wall. I decided to place my wool to build a platform that I could jump to. I placed my wool as far as I could and I used my boat to catch me in case I failed to jump. I opened the chest and all that was in it was a piece of sand. I was quite confused on how a piece of sand could help me. If I placed it on the wall, it would fall into the void, and I don't think there are any crafts that involve sand. But then I realized I had a furnace and I could make it into a piece of glass if I used my boat as fuel. Once the glass was done cooking, I placed it ahead of me and I jumped. Now I was able to break the chests, and I made one more jump and blocked up into the next room. The next room was very small, and it only had a couple of ladders and a small hole on the side. When I looked down the hole, there was a chest. I opened it, and it had 2 bones and an ender pearl. I figured that the only thing left to do was to use the ladders to pearl glitch myself through to the next room. I threw my pearl, and it worked, and I had made it to the next room. Inside of the next room, I found a floating block of ice, a hole with what looked like a furnace that was too high to reach, and another small hole with a chest. I looked around in F5 and the hole looked like it was long enough to lead to another room. I opened the chest and I found 2 oak logs. With 2 oak logs and no crafting table, I didn't really know what to do next. I looked around for any other clues and found nothing. It took me a moment, but I realized that I could make charcoal by using the furnace in the roof. Charcoal would allow me to make a torch that I could use to melt the ice. Once the charcoal was done smelting, I was left with 3 oak planks. I used 2 of them to make torches and placed them all around the ice. Once the ice melted, I swam through the hole to another room. I walked forward and there was a room full of lava with a hole in the roof. I used my last wooden plank to build up to the room and I looked around for anything to help me. I saw there was a crafting table in the corner, but that was it. I began right-clicking the lava to see if anything was behind it. I ended up finding a chest with 12 bamboo in it, but that was all. When I checked the last lava source, I found something strange. Every time I right-clicked, I would punch something, but I didn't know what. I decided to look in F5 mode, and it looked like there was a room hidden behind the lava. I jumped through the lava and barely lived on 2.5 hearts. Luckily, there was water. Inside of the secret room, there was a double chest that had 2 steak and 2 string. So I ate my steak, collected the chests, and used them to block off the lava so I could get back through safely. By now, it was obvious what I had to do. I used the crafting table to make scaffolding, and then I used the scaffolding to climb up through the hole in the roof. Once I made it to the top, I climbed up this weird formation of bedrock. In this room, I saw an exit, 4 chests, and 4 dirt blocks. I decided to use the dirt to build up to the chests. Inside of each chest, there was 1 jungle sapling. I placed all 4 of the jungle saplings on top of the dirt and made my bones from earlier into bone meal. I used the bone meal to grow the tree and then I climbed up to the top of the tree. Once I made it to the top of the tree, I climbed the ladder, and after that, I had successfully escaped the prison. Minecraft is an easy game. Okay, that's not me. Okay, maybe it was me, but Minecraft at its core is an easy game, which is why I am going to make it harder by playing 5 of the hardest seeds with the goal of beating at least one of them in under an hour. And obviously, I'm not a speedrunner, so 1 hour, that's good for me. The first seed literally spawned me suffocating inside of a wall, and to make things worse, I was almost 40 blocks below the surface. This forced me to staircase with my fist for almost 10 minutes before reaching the surface. I made it to the surface and I started punching trees, but then I realized I have another problem, my hunger bar. I was stuck inside a Badlands biome where it's almost impossible to get food, and to make things worse, it was going to be nighttime soon and I was about to run out of sprint. Eventually I managed to find a plains biome and I killed a few chickens. I then tried to remember how much iron you need to go to the nether and started searching for lava to make a portal. I found lava and made a terrible attempt at the speedrun portal, and then I went to the nether. By now it was almost 20 minutes into the run, which means the world record would have finished twice now, but I still had 40 minutes, which is plenty of time, I think. I got a nether spawn that fit this seed perfectly, but luckily I had enough blocks to bridge across. I made it to land where I got attacked by a piglin, so I made gold boots, which makes me one of them. I traveled a little bit more where I found the nether fortress, but I was too scared to enter the fortress without fire resistance, so I just wrote down the coords. It turns out I wasn't too scared to enter the fortress about 2 seconds later, and I started fighting blazes. At first I was doing good, but shortly after I became scared of the blazes again, but regardless, I was able to leave with 7 blaze rods just to be safe. I then set out to find a bastion, which turns out to be very hard if you don't know how to bastion X-ray. Eventually I had found 3 fortresses and still no bastion, so I just gave up. Wait, you thought I would give up? No, I actually just died and didn't want to go back and get my stuff. Now I had 4 seeds left, and the next seed spawns you on a single block in the middle of the ocean. Luckily there was a shipwreck nearby, so I got some iron and forgot how to breathe. I went back down one more time to try to get wood and almost drowned again. So I swam over to some land and found some trees not too far away. I then found a lava pool and messed up the speedrun portal again. I made it to the nether just before 5 minutes and things were looking good. For a few seconds. I managed to make it back to the nether a few minutes later, so I went to go grab my stuff. It seems I forgot that items burn in lava though, so I went back to the overworld. Things were already looking bad as I was back in the nether just after 10 minutes, leaving me just under 50 minutes to beat the game. I crafted my piglin morph, made an iron pickaxe, and then I attempted Bastion X-ray. Unfortunately, I found a fortress instead, and then I got assaulted by a giant pig. Now I was missing hearts, meaning I needed to find food fast. Thanks, guys. I found some actual food, and then I decided to go fight blazes, which wasn't a good idea. I walked around for almost 5 minutes until I found enough mushrooms to restore my hunger. You're probably wondering what happened for the next 10 minutes, and honestly, I'm not too sure. Eventually, I started killing endermen and got the rest of the blaze rods I needed to go to the end. The problem was, I only had 5 minutes left to get to the stronghold and kill the ender dragon, so I had to go fast. Unfortunately, I had exceeded the time limit, meaning I had failed once again, but I decided to find the stronghold anyway. It didn't matter though, because I had 3 eyes break on the way there, so I couldn't even fill the portal. That means I had 2 seeds failed and 3 left to go. This time I spawned directly inside an ocean with no land in any direction. I found a shipwreck again, and I found a ton of iron and even a diamond. This time there was an air pocket, so I was able to make my tools without drowning. This run was looking good so far, so you're probably wondering how I will mess it up. I thought it was a good idea to try to get the gold blocks inside of an ocean monument. Now I not only had to go to the nether, but I had to find a cow to get rid of this mining fatigue first. It took me almost 5 minutes to find a cow, meaning I had already wasted over a tenth of my time and I was nowhere near entering the nether. After collecting a few things, it was now 11 minutes and I decided to dig down to find lava. 3 minutes later, I was at a lava pool and I made an amazing portal again. I was finally in the nether over a quarter of the way into the run and I tried to Bastion X-ray again. I was led to another fortress though, so I fought blazes again. I got too confident though, and the blazes killed me, meaning I had to travel thousands of blocks back to my portal. So I quit the world and moved on to the next seed, but now things were getting bad because I only had 2 seeds left to beat and the next one was not looking good. This is Minecraft's impossible seed and it gets that name for a reason. There are ways to survive this seed, but for some reason I thought I was a genius that could find his own way out. I was wrong, and upon looking in replays I realized that it is literally impossible without you subscribing. Subscribe right now and I will beat the seed. No, I actually meant impossible without glitches, which meant that I was on my final seed, so I had to beat this seed in under an hour or else I will have failed. Luckily, the final seed wasn't as hard. Supposedly I was surrounded in a desert that went on for thousands of blocks. This seemed to be the case, but I was fortunately able to find a village with a savanna right beside it where I could get wood. Thanks to the village, I was able to get food and beds, so I was looking really good. The only problem was I needed 3 more iron before I went to the nether. I was easily able to solve this problem though because I saw another village on my way to the lava pool. So I killed the village bodyguard and now I had 9 iron ingots. I made my tools and went back to the lava pool where I successfully made a portal for the first time this video. Even though my nether entry was worse than the second seed, I still felt like I had plenty of time to complete this run, so hopefully that holds up. I turned my FOV to 30 and scanned for bastions, except this time I was actually able to find one instead of a fortress. The problem now is getting to the bastion because the nether isn't exactly known for its terrain. I bullied a ghast and then I started slow bridging to an island because this time I had to be careful. I finally found a way down the bastion and I made sure to stay as far away from the piglin brutes as possible. I have no idea how to route a bastion, especially hoglin stables, so it took me forever to figure out where the gold was. I had a close encounter with a piglin brute, and then I got really lucky with a few trades with this random piglin. Not too lucky though, so I went to find the rest of the gold. I mined the rest of the gold and then traded in the most painful way possible with a single piglin. This was definitely not a smart move during a speedrun, and I ended up wasting a ton of time, but I was able to get more than enough pearls, so I left to find the fortress. Luckily there's a fortress not too far away, meaning this run was still looking possible. I managed to find a double blaze spawner, so I was able to get my blaze rods relatively fast, leaving with 2 extra, which is better than 1. The problem now was that I didn't have enough obsidian to build a new portal, so I had to go back to 0-0 and try to find my old portal. I probably should have wrote down the coords, but I ended up finding the portal pretty easily and I was back in the overworld by 35 minutes. This left me 25 minutes with 2 things left to do: make it to the end and kill the ender dragon. Simple. After traveling over 1,000 blocks, I was able to find the stronghold chunk and all that was left to do was find the portal. Finding the portal turned out to be way harder than I expected and I almost died to mobs twice. After my encounter, I was able to find the portal and I walked into the end. Now I had just under 14 minutes to kill the ender dragon and I brought beds, so this was going to be easy. I know you probably thought something was going to happen, but I ended up killing the dragon with the beds and beat the game with a time of 48 minutes and 21 seconds. Absolutely terrible time honestly, but I did it, so that's it I guess. I don't have an outro. This square is filled with over 10 million blocks, and if my friends can mine every single block before I finish 10 challenges, I will give them $1,000.
Oh, that's easy.
You're gonna lose 100%.
First, I have to survive 100 wardens for 1 minute. I have full protection 2 diamonds, so at least I won't die in 1 hit. But there are so many wardens here, this is going to be so hard. And this is the first challenge, they only get harder from here. They're all running at me, oh my god. Yep, and I'm already at 1 heart. Yeah, that is a lot harder than it seems. Oh yeah, and for any challenge I fail, my friends will get a buff to make them mine even faster, so this is going to be very hard. Attempt number 2, I lost my armor, but whatever. There's so many of them over here. I'm gonna try to hide in a corner, and maybe they won't find me. Never mind, that didn't work. Oh my god. Okay, last try. I got my armor back, this is good. We just have to survive 1 minute. Judging by my first 2 attempts, that's not going to be easy. They're not chasing me yet. Okay, 30 seconds, we're halfway there. Oh my god. How am I supposed to do this? 40 seconds, no way, dude. It's literally impossible just because of the sonic boom. And because I failed the challenge, now my friends can mine a lot faster. In this next challenge, I have to land 5 levels of clutches, which get more and more insane. The first clutch is super easy, it's just a simple water bucket. I don't know if you even die from this height. Imagine if I failed. For level 2, I have to land a slime block clutch. Okay, this one is a bit higher. Alright, let's go. 3 more levels to go. The next level is a little bit harder. Now I have to land a ladder clutch from over 100 blocks in the air. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh my god. I thought I failed. It looked like I was way too far away. Now the levels get really hard. I have to land a sweetberry clutch from over 150 blocks in the air. I've never done one of these before. I'm kinda nervous. Oh my god, I was literally just spam clicking, let's go. Now for the final level, I have to land a boat clutch from almost 250 blocks in the air. Alright, I'm just gonna go for it. If I miss this, they are going to be able to mine so much faster. No way, dude, I didn't even place the boat, I'm so bad. Since I failed another challenge, my friends now have upgraded pickaxes.
Oh my god, I'm like mining whole chunks now.
Bro, I'm mining.
In this next challenge, I have to hit an insane trick shot. Alright, you have to bounce off these slime blocks, and then you hit this lever, and finally you shoot the chicken. And now that you know how hard it is, I only have 4 more tries to hit it. Okay, attempt number 2, come on. And I missed the lever. Alright, attempt number 3. Oh my god, there's no way. Now I only have 2 attempts left, and I haven't even gotten close. Okay, you bounce off here, now we hit this. No way, how did I miss that shot? Alright, this is my final chance. Come on, hit this. Oh my god, let's go! I actually hit it. Because I hit the trick shot, my friends did not receive a buff from that challenge. For the next challenge, I have to bust 5 Minecraft myths, and if I get 2 of them wrong, I lose. The first myth is, does thorns work on armor stands? I'm pretty sure I've tried this before and it didn't work, so I'm going to go with false. Let's go in survival. Wait, what? Wait, I thought it didn't work. I swear I've tried it. Well, now I have to get the next 4 right or I lose. The next myth is, can mobs see you when you wear their head? I'm pretty sure mobs can still see you when you wear their head, so I'm gonna go with true. Okay, yeah, the creeper's blowing up. I was right, let's go. 3 more to go. Can curses be removed with a grindstone? I'm pretty sure you can't remove curses with a grindstone. Let's see. Yep, it still has cursive binding. Okay, I just need to get 2 more right. Can you smelt raw iron blocks into regular iron blocks? I don't think you can do this either, so I'm gonna go with false once again. Yeah, it's false. Nothing is happening when I put it in the furnace. Okay, just 1 more to go. Can you spawn a wither in a snow biome? Now, I've done this one before and it didn't work, but I remember some comments telling me I have to remove the snow underneath it, so I'm gonna trust you guys and I will say you can spawn one. Alright, let's build it right here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it worked. You guys were right. And because I got 4 myths right, my friends didn't get a buff again. The next thing I have to do is find diamonds in cursed Minecraft. Okay, so I only have 5 minutes to do this, so I have to be fast or else my friends will get a pretty crazy buff. I think I see a shipwreck in the distance, so I'm going to make a boat. Yeah, that's definitely a shipwreck. Hard to tell with the solid water. Okay, this is the wrong chest. Are any of these squares diamonds? I don't think so, but we did get some iron. And I'll check for a treasure map. Okay, there is a treasure map. Okay, we just need to find this and hopefully there will be diamonds. Okay, we're getting pretty close to the treasure. It should be right here. Okay, my F3 menu just isn't working. What? I have no idea where to dig down. Let's just dig here. Okay, there it is. Wait, is that a diamond? Oh, it's just a heart of the sea. Okay, I guess our best chance now is to just dig down. Let's just get a bit more wood, and we'll just go in this water cave. Let's dig down here. Okay, there's a mine shaft. I could find diamonds in a minecart chest. I don't have much time left though, so we have to get lucky. Okay, we're not going that way. I forgot I added my mobs to the texture pack too. Come on, minecart chest. There's literally no minecart chests in here. Are you serious? Oh wait, there's one. And there's nothing good in it. Oh my god, there's so many Spider-Mans. Okay, we literally have no time left. I have to just dig in this wall. And we're out of time. That's so unlucky. That was the perfect seed to find diamonds, and we still found none. And because I failed another challenge, my friends now have explosive pickaxes. For the next challenge, I have to beat a parkour course that gets progressively harder. Okay, I'm pretty good at parkour, which is good because I can't afford to lose this one. Okay, this level is pretty easy. I'm just gonna speed run it. Okay, there's ladders. They're easy ladder jumps though. Okay, the blue level looks harder. 3-block ladder jump. Now we go here. This looks kind of far. Easy for me though, obviously. Okay, this is still pretty easy. Oh, not one of these jumps. Oh my god, I thought I fell. Okay, this level looks hard. There's a scary ladder jump already. That was kind of far. Okay. Oh my god, what is this jump? That one was scary. Alright, and another one of these. Alright, now I just have to speed run this. And we made it to purple. That one was definitely harder. Okay, this level looks really scary. Alright, I'm just gonna go. Okay. I just speed ran that part. Okay, ladder jumps. I'm just gonna have to speed run this again. There's no way I just did that. Now we just have to go up this ladder. Wait, where's the ladder? Oh my god, I have to jump to this one. What? Come on. No way, that literally looked impossible. And there's another one. Okay, now there's only one more jump to go. Let's go. I never even doubted myself, obviously. Since I completed the parkour course, my friends were not given a buff. Now I have to speedrun finding a random mob. Okay, this can either go really good or really bad. Hopefully I don't roll the Ender Dragon. Come on, donkey, that sounds fine. Of course, I was gonna get a donkey and now I have to speedrun a strider. I mean, it could be worse. All I have to do is get to the nether in 10 minutes. That's plenty of time. And there's an outpost right here. I mean, I probably shouldn't go into it with nothing, but what's the worst that can happen? Okay, you guys can stop shooting. I'm just here to visit your loot. Okay, 2 iron, some wood, and some food. That's not bad. I just need 2 more iron to get to the nether. And there's a lava pool right here. This is a really good seed. Alright, let's just get some wood. Wait, what am I doing? I already had wood. Now I just need to find 2 iron. Hopefully there's some iron in this cave. Okay, I'm not really sure if there is iron in this cave. I literally found no iron in this cave. How is that possible? Guess we just have to find another cave. Wait, never mind. The seed is cracked. There's a village here too. I can't believe I didn't see this village before. Alright, let's just kill the village bodyguard and we're good. Sorry, man. It has to be done. Let's steal some crops too. Okay, now I can mess up the speedrun portal. I think that's right. Oh wait, I actually did it. Oh yeah, I need flint for flint and steel. Here we go. Alright, we still have a good amount of time to find a strider. Remember, all I have to do is punch it. Okay, I don't see any yet. Oh wait, there's some right there. Now I just need to get down. They're making it really difficult to punch them. And there we go, I did it. Since I completed the challenge, my friends did not get a buff. For the next challenge, I have to beat a world record which Dom took from me in his newest video. 21 seconds, okay, I definitely need to warm up. Since I only had 25 attempts to get under 11.5 seconds, I needed to warm up fast. And while I'm attempting this record, sometimes YouTube unsubscribes people, so if you think you are subscribed, please check, it helps a lot. Okay, I keep getting around 15 seconds, which is definitely an improvement from before, but it's still not good enough. Wait, how fast was that? 12.99 seconds? Wait, I'm pretty sure that tied my old record. And after that, my streak of luck began to run out until I was down to 1 final attempt. Okay, 16 seconds, I just can't seem to get it. I only have 1 more try. Oh, 13.26, that's a good time, but it just isn't enough. Since I lost the challenge, my friends are now able to fly. For the final challenge, I have to find a diamond in this massive house. This house is literally insane. How am I going to find this in 10 minutes? I also can't afford to lose this challenge. If my friends get the 5th buff, it's over. I'm gonna start following this road here. Okay, there's some cars here with some item frames, but I don't seem to see a diamond. This diamond isn't an item frame, by the way, so we don't have to check any containers. I think I'm gonna look in this backyard, because that seems promising. Is this a whole other house? This is impossible. Let's check beyond the paintings. You never know if there's a hidden room beyond the paintings. At this point, looking just seems pointless. There's endless places it could be. I'm diving in the pool. I don't think it's down here. Okay, I think I've checked everywhere I can look in this side house, and it's not here. Let's check the main house. We're already almost at 5 minutes too. This is bad. Oh my god, look how big the main house is. This is crazy. The amount of detail is insane. I could be looking at the diamond right now and have no idea. They even have an infinity pool. And a kitchen with some dude's head on the table. What? This is crazy. I feel like I've only checked like 5% of the house. Oh wait, there's a downstairs floor. I don't think I've been here yet. How do we get down there is the question. We only have 1 minute left. How do I get downstairs? Imagine living in a maze like this. I think this is the downstairs area. They have a bowling alley? Are you serious? Who has a bowling alley in their house? Time is ticking and I've found a place that goes further down, but I still see nothing. Wait, there's a secret room here. There's lots of diamond armor, but no diamonds. Alright, I'm just gonna jump in the pool. It's over. Wait, is that the diamond? Wait, it disappeared, but that was the diamond, I'm certain. Since I won this challenge, the score is now 5-4, but as I said, there are 10 challenges, so this is not over yet. Okay, so for the last challenge, I have to stop them from mining. So I guess I just have to kill them. I don't know what kind of stuff they've been given, so I'm just gonna get full netherite. Alright, I'm pretty sure they are over here. Oh, they literally have nothing. Guys, I think your time is up.
Ow! Wait, what are you doing here?
Oh my god, bro.
That's it. Please subscribe. I don't have an outro.